All right, the floor is yours.
All right. Welcome everybody to the two-man power trip, the Black Man starting the nerd lifestyle. I'm Nicholas, Mr. Go with the Flow.
And I'm the man with the plan, Maurice.
And we're back with another edition of the Blerd by Nature podcast. What's up? What's up? What's up, my people? We got a special guest in the building, returning once again. Guest, go ahead, introduce yourself.
What up? What up? What up? Fuck Wolverine.
Oh, here we go.
Already?
Oh, really?
Already? Damn, son. Damn. Well, on that energy, once again, introducing our guest.
Sir Wilkins.
What's up, man? What's up, brother?
Man.
What's up? Big Zilla and the 5'3" Illa from Tokyo, Black Anime Podcast number 202 in the building. Let's talk, guys. What's up? Let's go into vibe, guys, before we go all up in the tea. So, how was y'all weekends? How's work week starting off? How y'all doing?
I started. So, weekend was chill. I hung out with some friends, took care of some adult life. The week, honestly, has been pretty chill so far. Last week was chill. So I got my fingers crossed. It's been too quiet.
Oh, okay. Calm before storms?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. That's scary.
What about you, Wilkins?
Weekend was pretty chill. I saw that Zoe's Zienda, I forget if you pronounce her name.
Zoe Saldana?
Zandana new movie, Challengers.
Oh, the
how was that?
movie. Yeah, I saw that shit come out online.
To be honest, it was better than I thought it was gonna be.
The mere fact they filmed a lot of that shit in New Rochelle freaked me out because I actually know that place. The Challengers place that they was at. I didn't even realize they was actually going over there. I didn't think that was the importance of the movie.
Wow.
It's I don't know if I'm gonna mess it up for anybody, but the point of the move, the whole concept of the movie is basically it's a movie about tennis.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, that's sell point.
But the main thing is like Zoe plays the illest villain in the world because she's married to one guy, kind of still fucking another dude. It's just wild. You got to see it for yourself.
Oh, it's that kind of drama you'll get from X-Men.
Yeah. It's a lot of sexual tension in that whole entire movie, but
camera work crazy.
The movie was done extremely well.
Yep,
that's the one thing I'll say. The movie was done like extremely well. It was written pretty good. It was way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, that's what's up. I
was like, I'm actually invested in this movie.
Man, check it out.
Good. Hey, man, that's how you know you hooked.
Like it was that type of vibe. But I do recommend it. If anybody thinks about seeing it, I recommend. You know what? Go check it out.
All right, that's cool. That's what's up. Like co-host said before me, my weekend was pretty chill as well. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we not all like calm before the storm. Ain't no wild week coming up. No craziness and shit. Hopefully everything stay chill and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. All right. So unlike our usual episodes, we're gonna skip through the off-the-cuff discussions and we're gonna skip through the nerd reboot news and we're going straight into the main event because we got a lot to talk about, guys. So we're going into the main event segment, X-Men 97 episodes 6 through 10, the final wrap-up on season 1. So let's step all the way into episode 6. Let's just chat from Life Death Part 2. This is that first episode that happened right after the Genosha stuff.
All right. First, I'm gonna address this Wolverine slander because that man just been in his cut chilling. The only thing that he did was stab up the Magnet Man. That's all he did. Other than that, he been chilling.
Fuck Wolverine.
He been staying in his lane. He ain't been bothering nobody.
Because he don't
stabby to the Magnet Man. That's it.
He was talking spicy though. A lot of them episodes, he was talking crazy spicy.
He always talking spicy.
Him and Morph like this. More ways than one, y'all.
Ooh, yeah, we gonna get to that.
Yep. Shit. But yeah, so we want to step into let's break it down piece by piece. So let's go into episode 6, Life Death. So this is the one catching up on after the Genosha slaughter and stuff like that, and then we go straight into like what's going on with Storm and Forge.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Storm was going through it.
Yeah. The way how she was getting back her powers,
at all.
the fucking freaky bird.
Yo, now that bird
got me, man.
That bird was something else.
I want to say that episode was defined by birds because not only did we have the dealings of what was going on with Storm and that bird, but we was also greeted by Deathbird and the rest of the bird colony that was going on with Charles and shit. Where he was getting the freaky bird shit going on.
And I felt Storm because I don't like tight spaces like that either. When she was in that cave, I was like, oh, nah. And then the bird when it comes starting beef, I'm like, oh, nah.
I mean, she always been claustrophobic, so that's been the shit that was fucking her over from the beginning.
Yeah, I felt it. I was like, oof.
Yep. But while that was happening down on Earth, up in space, you got Deathbird. They was jumping Ronin, the whole Shi'ar squad. They was jumping the Kree army. They was beating their asses. And then in the midst of that, that's when we get the surprise that Charles still alive out here with new legs.
So that had me like, oh, this is what you've been doing?
Mm-hmm.
Getting your freak on?
With the birds. Freak a leak with the birds.
Freak a leak.
So all this time, the X-Men and everybody else been dealing with all this bullshit, and you just been over here chilling?
I
know, man.
Getting aliens.
Yeah. Getting that bird pussy.
Right?
Squad, nigga.
I was like, you dead ass, Charles?
Yeah. They talking about, so they in the midst of union. They're making it extra hot. They talking to the council and shit like that, talking about, yeah, we gonna be you got the Earthlings and you got the Shia Empire. They trying to unite. All the bird people like, I don't trust this bald motherfucker right here, yo. I don't know what you done pulled up in our world and shit like that. That bird getting the message while she fucking up, nigga. She like, what my sister doing now? And then
like
she brought some,
do what? Oh,
yeah,
nah.
she brought some stringy Earthling along and shit like that. And then they all pull up to see what's going on, to actually peep what's going on with him. Charles trying to slip that manipulation. You know what Charles does best, you know, the mind control. So he always likes to slip that manipulation in there. And he talking to Lalandra. He's like, yo, we could go back and forth. You know, we could go to Earth. We can come to the Shi'ar. She like, I don't know about that. I don't trust what the hell's going on with them Earthlings. They not one to fuck with some bird peoples. Yeah, man. And then in the midst of that, we got Storm and Forge. Forge trying to recover on that nasty ass shit that he got on his shoulder because that bird bit the shit out of his shoulder. Yeah. He had all types of diseases, so he had to find some cactus root somewhere all the way far into the desert and shit like that. Had to take Storm up there so he could come and heal himself and stuff like that. But we also got like stuff was starting to interestingly like mix in together because like the first time Storm and Forge was fighting that bird, he used a little magic spell, and if you notice, that was the same kind of shit that Doctor Strange was using.
Yes,
I did peep that, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, one of them magic circles. I was like, oh, all right, let's we. It's not, you know how X-Men likes to mix in all the other like Marvel shit that's going on and stuff like that.
I was just like, what kind of bird are you? I'm like, oh, okay.
But it's some kind of shit. I mean, it bit the shit out of his shoulder and it was diseased up as fuck.
That shit was crazy. That bird gave that nigga AIDS.
I mean, that shit was acting fast. That shit was coming up. That shit was nasty. It was squiggly. It looked like one of the mind control shits on his shoulder.
And I was like, oh man. I was like, you need to get that, bro. All right, Stone, let's go. We go to the desert, get the cactus.
Yeah, we gotta go find this cactus root to go fix that shit. But in the midst of that, we go back up into space and we get the iconic line, you know, when Charles and his little bird thing going back and forth talking to the Union and shit like that, keeping it all calm down. Here come Deathbird talking about you want to mix together your Milky Way ghetto. And when we heard Milky Way ghetto, we all was like, oh,
this is what we doing?
That? Oh, it's like that?
A word?
I bet. They was acting mad messy. They was acting mad messy.
They come back and see what happened.
They was talking about the Milky Way ghetto. They was calling us Terrans instead of Earthlings and shit like that. They had their little sideways, the way how they wanted to talk about us and shit like that, all kinds of shade.
The disrespect was wild.
Oh, big facts. And then they had the audacity. They was like, yo, we gonna invoke the test. We want to test to see if he's really one of our bird people now. He gotta revoke all his Earthling life. He can't fuck with that shit in the past. All that X-Men shit, you don't need to deal with that drama. You just need to run with Bird Gang now.
That part, when I saw that, I was like, yo, you don't want this I thought it was like some tactic of like legit. I'm trying to brainwash him. That's how I kept thinking.
Yeah, it's definitely some, because they was talking about, if we mix together with the shit that's happening, this shit together, what's happening with Earth, it's just gonna be mad drama for us, and it's just using our powers for the greater good down there. And I'm like, man, y'all bullshitting. Y'all just don't want Charles to be happy and go back to no past or nothing like that. You want him to be straight bird people now.
That's what they wanted. They wanted completely 100% bird gang, and Charles was like, yeah, I ain't rocking with this.
And then they tried to play the shaky shit because they had Deathbird said it's not gonna be me administering the test, it's gonna be Lilandra. So you gotta trust in her to erase all your memories of your past and shit like that, and then you just gonna be connected to her. You gotta find y'all love all again. I'm like, what the pretty much you giving the nigga Alzheimer's. Like what's going on?
You know what? Now thinking back on it, is that Charles getting a taste of his own medicine?
Well, yeah, it's some mind control shit and wiping shit out. That sounds like it.
You think so?
A taste of his own medicine? Yeah. He out here wiping memories and minds.
You know how Charles do, so that's why I'm just like,
you're right. Y'all right.
And they did have a point. I mean, even Charles brought it up. He was like, you saved my life. You gave me tech to keep on walking. I really haven't done anything for you, but like supply whatever kind of handicap meters I got. I don't know. Like what? I mean, he got it. Something got to keep Lilandra coming back, I guess.
Oh, yeah, we gonna come back to Charles later because this what we talking about now gonna bring up a great point later.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Yeah, when we get to later on the episodes and his dealings with Magneto.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Him and Magnus is something else, but we gonna get to that.
He's the king of gaslighting, though, low key.
100%.
Woo, yes, he is.
That's why this was a taste of his own medicine. They was gonna wipe the fucking brain out so he can't do the bullshit no more.
This whole series made me see Charles Xavier in a whole different way, and I'm just like,
yeah, because we grown and we can understand arguments now. We don't play to one light versus dark like that. So we get to the test, and then once they ask him to denounce all his past to the earth and shit like that, Charles starts to get shaky. And the moment he gets shaky, Deathbird pull up on that shit, and she said, "Oh, you see what that nigga be doing? You see the bullshit that he be playing with?" And then that causes a big ass fight. So the sisters started scrapping, and everything get messy. Charles is like, "This is not what I wanted," and then he pulls the ultimate like mind trap. And he gets everybody that's in all the important people that's in the room, and he sits them down into a mind trap of a classroom. He puts them all into that space and shit like that. And he starts to shut them down in the classroom, teaching them about like the power dynamics and shit like that. Shit that Charles always be doing. He always want to show niggas how they can kumbaya and whatnot.
They go Charles again abusing his powers.
Yeah, because he was like, everybody was like, so what the fuck? Where are we? Why are we in this classroom?
That shit was funny.
This nigga said, "I want you to put your hands up. Don't talk out of turn." Because Deathbird flipped over the table. She said, "Oh no, I don't trust nothing about you, Earthling." This nigga said, "Put your hand up, put her down, and put an apple in her mouth."
Yo, that was funny. That took me out.
But that's some dickhead shit, though.
That's Charles.
Because it's like, yo, I'm gonna get in all y'all minds at once.
Yeah. No one by one shit.
And I'm gonna treat y'all like a bunch of suckers real quick.
Yeah, y'all a bunch of students. Y'all acting rowdy. Y'all getting into a fight like it's at school. So I gotta sit y'all down in detention, and y'all gonna feel this work. He pulled a Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World.
Nah, that's legit.
Nah, son. But yeah, so in the midst of the class going on, we got Storm facing her fears, like we were saying earlier. She was in that little so they went into the mountain, and Forge was like, the reason I wanted to come with Storm is because we was gonna go in that little hole in the cave. Storm was already freaking out off that, but she was like brave enough to hop up in there. Then when she got in the hole, all you saw was the fucking Deathbird come out of nowhere. And like, imagine you lose your flashlight, you in a little tiny cave of a hole, there's no light. And then the fucking bird starts crawling up, and all you can see is the bird start to follow you. So she panicking, she freaking out and shit like that. The bird coming closer, but she like, fuck this bird. I'm having Kentucky Fried Chicken. She called up the fucking powers. She was like, I ain't holding back no more. Cleanest shit she ever did. She called in the lightning and the thunder to come down into the cave hole. She killed the bird. And not only did she kill the bird, she took the pieces of the feathers and turned it into her new fit.
Listen, at that point, she was like, it's me or you, bro.
Pretty much. That shit was hard. She came up with her alien superstars, stomping like Beyonce, flying all over the place. Even though like Forrest was dying in that cave, he was suffering. He was going through that pain, and she was flying around, having her little Sailor Moon moment.
And then she was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, she was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to get the cactus. Oh yeah, that nigga dying. Woo!"
That shit was funny and crazy.
Man.
That whole episode was like, nigga, what is going on?
Hey man, it's like I said, this episode was sponsored by a whole bunch of bird shit. You gotta kill the birds, you gotta wear the birds, you gotta talk to the birds. And Charles side, you gotta fuck the bird.
Listen, this episode was how Storm got her groove back. So I'm like,
that too. She was on the fucking stallion shit too. I don't know, man. They was out there,
freaky ass girl.
Yeah, man. Shit. Listen, so they got back to the ranch. She gave him the cactus. She healed them up and shit like that. They was ready to move on with their lives and shit like that. They didn't know what was going on. Then they turned on to the news and they saw all the shit that was happening with Genosha. Storm said, "Oh shit, damn. All right, we got to get back in formation." So Storm and Forge knew what they had to do. And then in the meanwhile, we got Charles in space giving his little lecture and shit like that, having everybody kumbaya and everybody starting to understand power dynamics and shit like that. Everything was all good. And then out of nowhere, you see the planet start spinning, shit lights on fire. Then everybody in the classrooms turns into skeletons. OD big ass figure of Gambit. Shout out to the vest. Gambit, OD up in the sky, giant ass Gambit. He like, what the fuck's going on? Then you see Gambit turns into a skeleton, and then all you saw was like him turn into a sentinel for like 5 seconds, and then shoot his mouth lasers. Yo, Charles had a wild ass line. He was like, they was out there dancing, drinking wine, making love. First of all, Charles, what the hell were you seeing? what were you seeing before Genosha got killed? Nigga saw everybody going get freaky and shit like that. Charles was like, wow. But he saw all my children of Adam. They're dead. They're wild and they're dead. So he knew he had to get back into action. Lilandra picked him up after he was suffering a seizure and shit like that. He was like, "Fuck that! We can't have this shit no more.
I can't stay here."
Yeah, we can't connect no more. So I gotta go back home. I can't let all my niggas die like that.
But I'm surprised he didn't see this shit before.
I think it was like because of the timeline set up for everybody. I think what they were trying to set up is like the Storm and Forge shit happened at the same time as like the Genosha thing was just getting covered on the news. So it was like probably just about happened. So he just probably felt it because he's in the cosmos and the stars. I guess he just got, the connection of what just happened. It probably just hit him.
Or his mom was elsewhere.
Who's in that?
It's the bird pussy.
Right there.
Nigga was dealing with shit. He just got new legs. He was talking to a council. Like, I don't know, man. It was
so I was busy running around the place.
He was busy.
Like, I can walk.
This nigga was busy in some feathers. Him and Storm had the same situation. Storm got the feathers and she wearing a dress. Charles was in some feathers and he was getting a suit. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, but that pretty much set up everything that was going down. All the messy shit was going down. And then the only last part of the episode was that Trask was running from somebody, and we find out that Sinister was one of the major reasons behind all of the shit that was happening in Genosha. So that kind of ended episode 6 on, X-Men 97 loves to do cliffhangers and they are amazing at it. So that was the ending of the cliffhanger. So at this point, you're like, all right, Sinister definitely got something to do with this Genosha shit. So yeah. So that finished off with episode 6. So before we move on, y'all want to talk any more about the bird episode and the bird situation?
It was a great setup episode, if that makes any sense.
Agreed. They put Charles back on the board.
Yeah, like it wasn't because at first it was like, oh, okay, this is decent, and then
this is the follow-up from Genosha, so I get what you mean.
Yeah, the last 15-20 minutes was like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yep, we setting up the board. We putting Storm back on the board. We putting Charles back. We putting Omega level niggas back on the board.
Yeah, so we was like, oh, Charles is alive? This mofo.
And he got legs.
Right? And then you're wondering, Does he know Magneto has been supposedly clipped at this point?
No. Obviously not, because the Genosha shit happened later. He think that, remember, he put his last will and testament and left it to Magnus. So he just rocking out, with his bird pussy. So he good.
Then you got Storm. She's like, man, I've been going for 5 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, God, she was trying to get her groove back. She was out there with Ford. She was enjoying her shit. Remember before that, we was talking about the episode before when she was talking about maybe I want to live life as a human and shit like that. She was even talking about it in the episode. She was like, I'm so tired. I gotta save these niggas 24/7. They calling me. Cyclops is talking about bringing the weather. Nigga, I'm tired. I just want a nap. Sometimes the Mother Nature gets tired, bro.
She's like, the first thing I turn on TV, the first thing I see is everything done went to shit.
Dead ass. See what happens when I'm not there, guys.
I mean, she's big mama energy,
right?
Yeah, honestly, the way how they throw around the goddess word and shit like that, you would imagine, yeah.
She come back like Cyclops Jean. What the fuck?
Honestly, yes, I would. Like, what the fuck? Shit. All right, so if no further thing on the setup of episode 6, we can go into episode 7 called Bright Eyes. And this episode opens out on the funeral for Gambit. So this is like the reflection episode where everybody gets to like grieve and stuff like that. So this is when
okay.
We're gonna get to that because this is definitely a rogue episode because we get the funeral, Nightwing giving his great speeches. Nightwing got the puns on deck talking about like Gambit was one with the cards. He saw himself in the potential. He always saw him how skilled he was with the cards and stuff like that. He could move on from his past and shit like that. Like Nightwing, when Storm was away, I feel like Nightwing was like Nightwing. Nightcrawler was the heart of all the things that was happening. Like he kept the group together like how Storm was, but since Storm was away, Nightcrawler was really popping with this shit. So he gave the great speech and everything was going on. They all grieving. Jubilee was asking Wolverine why the fuck Rogue wasn't here, and there was all like, especially Nightcrawler, he was there in Genosha with one of the survivors and shit like that. Like he was like, y'all don't understand the grieving process of watching like 1,000 people die at once and then holding your lover in your hand and shit like that. So like that shit was crazy. But then we go over to what the fuck Rogue was really doing, and she pulling up on U.S. bases, like fucking throwing hands with the army, throwing tanks on top of tanks and shit like that. Thunderbolt Ross in a little bunker and shit like that, talking about, yeah, our bunker is strong enough to block against the Hulk. Nobody can get in, and in the midst, fucking cracking the door open and shit like that. He like, oh, we fucked.
See, Rogue is in that spot where you're between heartbreak and guilt. It ain't a fun place to be.
And pure fucking anger.
Should feel guilty though.
Yeah,
of
course she should. She should feel all that. But like I said, that's not a good place to be. Ooh.
But it's searing anger right now. I'm trying to fuck up this U.S. base. So she's trying to find out where the hell Trask and Gyrick is. She pull up on Thunderbolt Ross. Ross got the audacity to be like, I thought you was one of the good guys. She was like, you killed the good guys, nigga.
It's like Rogue, at this point, Rogue is like anybody could get it.
Everybody was having a hard time because while Rogue was doing that, we got Scott talking to slimy ass President Kelly, and he was using rhetoric like, we don't want to help people like you. I mean, sorry, I know we was supposed to be in all of this together and shit like that, but Scott, ever since that interview, he like, fuck you normies, it's beauty time all day, every day. And he fed up on all the shit that's going on. Like they talking to him like he's supposed to calm down and understand everything that happened in Genosha, and they supposed to be nice and calm and docile mutants and keeping it rocking and shit like that. So Scott fucking tired of all that conversation, and he talking to Jean about law and trying to be the hope and a good time where all the X-Men need to come together and go to Genosha and help everybody else. They go to Genosha and you see like everybody is messed up by all the shit that happened in like episode 5. Everybody's in pieces, and the people who are helping the people in Genosha, they're like losing all hope and shit like that because they find more bodies, but that's not encouraging everybody. Like even the survivors are losing hope and shit like that. Everything looks horrible. Everybody's either in pieces or they injured or they're trying to help other people out of rubble and shit like that. Like it becomes a very fucked up, thing to deal with after everything had happened in Genosha. And then you got Trish, slimy ass Trish with her camera showing up on
You said
Beast.
slimy ass.
Slimy.
Ivy?
Snake.
Because think about this shit.
Ooh.
Trish showed up, and the first thing she showed up was with a camera to document this shit. I was like, bitch, you're not here to help nobody. You showed up with a camera.
True.
You showed up with a camera crew. That was your first response. Yeah, you wasn't like moving rubble and shit like that. You wasn't here to talk to Beast one-on-one. You talked to Beast with your camera crew. You see me.
I think this is the first time we really saw Beast say F the mofos.
Oh, facts. Beast was like, all right.
Beast was not with the shits in this episode.
You need to cut the camera because I don't know what the fuck kind of publicity you trying to get out of here, but like you need to cut the bullshit. We need help. We don't need cameras right now.
If this was real life, who do you think she would have been? What reporter?
Ooh.
Gail Kim?
Possibly.
Probably. Yeah, no, I could see she it's one of those that's always on the scene of any kind of tragedy, just like off rip, trying to capture any kind of like impending moment and shit like that. Like when people don't need that at the moment. Like she did the news report, she got the news out there already. You don't got to be the camera. It's time to help. Put the camera down.
True.
Shit. So in the midst of Beast, knocking off Trish and shit like that, saying "fuck you, get out of my face." In the midst of that, Rogue pulls up into some icy tundra and shit like that, and she's like, "Oh, who the fuck is hiding over there?" And she pulls up, and we see a shield just get thrown out of nowhere. Fucking Captain is out here, and Rogue's like, "Oh, all right, what you doing out here? We need help somewhere else, sir. What you doing all here in the snow and shit like that? You hiding out from something?" You in the bunker hiding with the rest of the politicians down here? Like, what's going on?
This motherfucker, Captain America.
Yep. So Rogue already took the shield, and she was like, "You gonna show me everything the fuck you know about everything that happened with all the shit that went down with Genosha." So they go into wherever the hell the bunk is. They see that some group is behind it. They see some letters OZT. They don't know what the fuck is going on with that. So they just find out that that's behind why Gyrick is somewhere else. They think Gyrick was supposed to be at that location, but they done snatched Gyrick around, so he's not in that various locations, stuff like that. So Rogue starts talking to Captain America about like, let's go to the next spot where we think he is. We think he in Mexico and shit like that. So let's start busting heads and shit like that. And Captain America's like, whoa, little missy. Let me tell you that if this flag shows up in Mexico, start busting heads, I mean, people gonna think a certain way, and Rogue's like, "Oh yeah, they gonna think the right way that you stand with mutants." And he like, I don't know about that. I'm one for America first. I'm one for America first. And we was like, "Oh, okay, it's like that." And Rogue was like, "Oh, if you not with us, you against us." And she took the shield. She bumped out that shit. She said, "Oh, word, America's lapdog, go fetch." Threw that bitch like a frisbee. That shit was gone.
She should have yeeted it further.
Nigga, Cap's face was hilarious. He was like,
"Cause what he gonna do?"
Yeah. Now, if you don't
realistically,
know,
what he gonna do?
Now, if you don't know by now, Rogue is yacked because she stole Captain Marvel's powers. So she is like, she's on that. You can't really like fuck with her right now. So when she Duffy that shit all far away, yeah, Cap can't do anything about it. He could call some search and rescue or something like that to go find the shield, or maybe he could talk to somebody in Wakanda. Maybe they got like a vibranium trek or something. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he had the face like this bitch. Now I gotta go crawl. Now I go find that shit in some snow.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
So while they was dealing with that, we got Jubilee and Ricardo. They trying to help out with all the shit that's happening with Genosha. They talking about the horrors and the results. Talking about she's trying to help Ricardo, trying to talk to his parents about it, specifically his mother, because he still ain't tell her. Hold on, because we're gonna talk about mama. But he wants to talk to his mama about being a mutant and shit like that, because he never came out to tell her officially that she's a mutant. And Jubilee's like, what if she saw over the news that you died and you was just like dancing around these people that she never knew anything about? And she was like, you don't want your mama finding out about your real lifestyle on like the 5 o'clock news or something like that. Which I mean, it's a point and stuff like that. So
that's
so
true.
So in the middle of that, Rogue goes and pulls up to the place where they're supposed to keep Gyrick. She pulls up to the fucking prison facility and she looks around. She said, "This don't look like no fucking prison. This is looking like a fucking resort. It looking mad nice. It got a defense squad on the outside. You got pools. It looked like a nice place to chill out on a hotel, 5-star hotel and all shit. He probably got bitches somewhere. I don't know. It looked like it was set up for something, but like I don't know." But he was chilling and shit like that. And then Rogue was like, "I'm sick of all this." So she started handing out ass whoopers to everybody. And then she bust up into Gyrick's place. And then she's like, "Yeah, nah, you got to tell me what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is OCT? Why'd you do what you did?" Gyrick looking extra nice. He's like, "You not like Charles. Y'all not gonna infiltrate my mind and everything. So you don't even gotta work. You don't even got to worry about that." Apparently, he didn't know shit about Rogue. She was like, "This isn't that kind of shit." So she put the hands on the nigga and started draining his shit, trying to figure out all the shit that was happening in his mind. And she starts to see a whole bunch of shit. I think like an image of Nimrod starts to pop up in her head. And she starts to get overwhelmed by all the shit that starts to pop up in her mind about like everything that goes on and all the secret, stuff that they put together and whatnot. So in the midst of that, we go back to Genosha, what's happening with Jean, and she gets horrified because Jean's on the site, and when she touches anything that happens with the rubble, she can see all the shit that was happening with Genosha as people like were dying in that instant moment, all that shit that was connected to the rubble. And in the midst of that, she gets a little mind meld with another telepath that was in the ground and shit like that. And they start to dig up and they find Emma Frost. And this is the first time we see Emma Frost on her like diamond mode and shit like that. So they found another telekinetic and stuff like that. So she's all safe. And then in the midst of that, the X-Men go back into the helicarrier and they get a message from bitch ass Trask, who's like, "Oh, I feel sorry for everything that happened in Genosha. I feel sorry about all the shit that happened that I was involved with." I'm like, niggas, it's too late.
Let's go jump him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he was like, "This is my location. I want to tell y'all all the secrets that I know. So find me at this location." He said some really 90s sounding shit. He was like, he gave him like a secret to a secret tunnel base or wherever the fuck he is. He's like, the vending machine never runs out of diet soda. I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." So that's
I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I was like,
it's I guess that's where the secret location is. You got to pull up to wherever that is and find wherever the fucking vending machine is, and you best to order you a diet soda or some shit like that.
So we ain't gonna search for Madeline. I'm just saying.
Well, at that point, what Gina saw in her head, she said Madeline dead. Honestly, when they thought they got the vibe from the telepath, they thought it was Madeline at first, but it ended up being Emma.
And poor Scott was devastated.
Jean's like, "I'm the one you got, nigga." What? So yeah, so they head off to where the shit that was going down with Trask. Trask send them the location. They head over there. So in the midst of that, Jubilee and Ricardo go to tell the mom about him being a mutant. Jubilee at first was talking to Ricardo. She was like, "Yo, we can ease into this. We could do a little, small talk and shit like that, and then you can tell her." Then they flash cut to the next scene, and he's like, "I'm a mutant," and she's like, "Oh, okay,
Bruh.
okay,
Bruh.
all right, let it rock." The mother takes like one sip of her tea. She's like, "Oh, okay," and they was like, "What?" And she was like, "Honey, you burned down our last 4 houses. You think I didn't know you was a mutant? And you think everything was all nice? There was all kumbaya. It was all chat between the two of them, and it was all nice and happy and shit like that." And then she pulls the side shit where she turns around. She was like, "Yeah, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna throw a little party and stuff like that, but you just don't tell anybody you're a mutant, okay? It's okay that you're a mutant, but just make sure my rich friends don't know, okay?"
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Of when I dated this white girl, and her parents are like, "Listen, I know that you like black guys. That's cool. But don't bring him around the crib."
Yeah.
That's exactly I'm not going to lie. I was triggered.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
I was slightly triggered when I saw it. I was like, oh, This reminds me of this.
She said to pretty much put your ass back. You can open yourself out the closet for me, but put your ass back in that closet for the public.
She basically
tone all that shit down.
She basically sipped her tea like, this ain't my first cover up.
Yeah. Oh, she's rich. That gave it away right off rip.
Yeah,
like, they're rich, so you know.
She's like, all right, this is what we gonna do.
Yeah, she had a plan, an execution, everything. She was like, I'm gonna throw a party. They're gonna get this money for Genosha, but best believe they're not gonna. So I have a mutant at my home.
The way she said it,
I can't have a nigga in the house.
The ghetto.
She's like, it's about optics. The way she said it, she was so unfazed. She's like, yeah, it's about optics. She's like, yeah, you're mutant. Yeah, like, yeah, I knew that already, but keep that on the low.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta keep up appearances.
Mm-hmm. It was some slimy shit, but that was them on them side, and we not gonna be done with the mom for a while because she on some slime.
Oh yeah, she on
altogether. Yep. So we go over to where the X-Men is, and they find Nightcrawler finds Rogue outside of the Gyrick Hotel and shit like that, where he was at and shit. And they pretty much help Rogue grieve and all this shit. They talk to her, and all of them pop out, and they just pretty much give her a hug and nice talking to her and shit like that to help her cry it out and shit like that before they go and handle whatever's going on. And then the next scene, we see we hear the song One Eye Purple People Eater, and we find out who the true villain behind all this shit is, because we see Gyrick, he got the little ventilation system on, and then homie pulls up, we see that it's Bastion. Bastion makes his big entrance and shit like that, and he's behind it all. Gyrick's like, yeah, so I did what you asked, and Bastion's like, well, you kind of fucked up my plans a little bit, so we gotta put you off the board. So he ripped the ventilation off. The way he ripped that shit off him, he was like, hey, wait. He put the 2 hands on that nigga, started pressing down. He said, nah, you gotta sleep, nigga, sleep.
I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Ooh.
Took that nigga out, and that's
like,
that's the last time we see Gyrick on the board. You see the beep,
and it was clipped. I was like,
Gyrick clipped.
Now you're talking too much.
So Gyrick out, he off the board, and then we move over to where the X-Men is. They're looking for the vending machine. They put in for the diet soda. They get the diet soda. That shit come down, and then we get the funny ass elevator scene where they all got to squeeze in together. You see, like from the camera up, you see all of them chilling, and I think it's Morph is the one that opens the diet soda. Like it's mad quiet in there, and they all squeezed up like a bunch of sardines. All they going down in the elevator,
and Morph just like,
yeah, just nobody else gonna drink this. I
better say less.
So they go around the whole facility and shit like that. They see all the shit that's going down, and then they look out the corner of the window. They said, "Yeah, we looking around." And then they look out and they like, "Wait, what the fuck is that Trask about to jump?" And they was like, "Oh, great! We gotta go save a nigga. Now we gotta go Captain Save a Demon." So
now we supposed to beat him up. Talking about something save him. Like, nah.
I'm saying. So they go out there and follow up to Trask, about to sacrifice himself because he's like, oh, I didn't expect my machines to kill all these people, even though he made the machine specifically to kill these people. What? I don't know.
Right? What you thought they was gonna do?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what did you make the Sentinels to hold hands, nigga? Like, what? You know what you built them for?
It was the most ignorant comment you can say. Like, huh? Like,
I didn't expect them to murder them when they did because I built them.
Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Were they toys? Were they dolls, my nigga? Like,
I didn't know the gun was gonna go off when I pulled the trigger and aimed it at you. Like, okay.
Excuse me? Like,
what?
Okay. But yeah, so he starts to spill the tea. He says OZT was based off of the it was like remnants of the people from the operations you destroyed back in the old series and shit like that. So they're a group that come together and stuff like that. And their plans is to build a new type of Sentinels. And then right when Trask is about to make his big leap, Rogue grabs him. And then she catches him like right before he falls. And she was like, yo, is there anything that else you could tell us about the information? He was like, no, I have nothing at all. And she was like, sure, sugar. And she let go of that nigga. And that nigga fell. Yo,
I was like, oh, she milked him.
the audacity that nigga had, because he was playing a game, because that whole time he was about to jump and jump to his death and shit like that. But when Rogue drops him, he looks like no, falling all the way to his death. All you hear is a crash and smack down, and you like, oh shit, Rogue finally did it. Rogue, one of the niggas that finally stood on business.
I was like, okay, Rogue. I was like, okay, you start to redeem your scallywagness. I was like, okay.
Morph with
but
he said objection.
This is off guilt.
Of course it is.
This is off guilt.
Sometimes
and
that guilt is eating her up.
So I wasn't fully in love with that part. Because I know why you did this.
But
you
didn't
played
love
my man and then he died.
You didn't love the fact that they still stood on. Well, she stood on business.
Nah. Because we were fucking.
You know what?
He had good information that we could have gotten out of him.
He said that he ain't got nothing left.
He
so
had
you ain't got
shit
no
left.
news. You ain't got no.
He had shit left. My boy was lying.
I'm gonna go find this information on somebody else. Fuck you, nigga.
He probably was. He probably wasn't going to give it up. I get what you're saying.
All I know is when he dropped and crashed, that shit was that. I started to clap my hands. I was like, oh, I never seen this shit before. Even Morph was clutching his pearls. He was like, is this who we are now? Yes, nigga. They killed all our people. Yes, this is who we are now. Revolution.
Revolution, indeed.
Viva Revolution. Yup.
Wolverine stood on business too, because he was like, she did what we all wanted to do too. And
That's
I was
what
like,
I'm talking about.
You know what? fucking Cyclops. Rogue, what have you done? Brother, you've been talking spicy to these reporters for the last 2 days. Come on, you know you wanted to as well.
We'll read what you're saying, what you ain't want to say.
Wilkins.
Wait.
You think he was really in the bones?
Listen. Cyclops was right. That's all I'm gonna say. Cyclops was right.
So listen. So after they had the little discussion, now this is the part that threw me for a loop, because Rogue's little speech about how the shit happened. She was like, he was the one that killed all of our people in Genosha. And then she was like, he took a good man. And then she said, my man. And I was like,
hold up.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
That's what she
not
lost
gonna
me.
do is forget what happened. Because I apparently online, everybody seemed to have forgotten at that point. She shattered that boy's whole heart.
Yeah,
I know they had a little.
I was like, oh.
I know. Gambit like sacrificed himself to like save your life, and you know you had him cradled as he was dying and shit like that. But like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there was no like he died. There was no like reconvenience of this relationship. What do you mean, my man? He died, and you said I'm done with this relationship. As far as he knows, he died, and there was no my man. So
yeah, you lost that right when you started dancing with the Magnet Man.
And
so yeah, we not doing that,
bro. That whole entire scene. Imagine your crush, the chick that you've been wanting to get with, is now basically fucking in front of you. He was a cuckold.
No. They started spinning in the air.
Yeah. I was like,
happy nation. Like what?
Talking about my man. Fuck you, bitch.
My man Remy wasn't living in a happy nation. He was drinking himself solid. He had to leave the room.
Fuck you, bitch.
I was letting that one slide. I was like, nah. You're not gonna do that.
When she stood on business, I was fine. But then she had the my man space, and I literally paused the episode. I was like, that's not true. That's not true. I know the guilt is eating you up, but it's like one of those things. You ever see those memes where you see the nigga dead in the casket, and you see it with the memes where they come to the funeral and it's a baddie, and she come to the funeral and she like, man, I would have let that nigga hit, and you see that nigga rise up like the Undertaker.
Why?
No, but she said the funniest part is they played that scene right, because the second she said my man, all you heard is Sentinel Protocol activate. What? All you see is trash come in. Bam.
Even trash knew that was some bullshit.
It was the bullshit that activated the Sentinel protocol. So all you saw. So this is some horrific type of shit. This is the X-Men 97 show has been playing with the horror themes because all you saw was that nigga neck snapped all the way around. He said,
bruh.
Sentinel. All you hear is mean cracking and shit like that. Like he pop, lock, and drop it.
Like he imagine Son on the ground. He heard everything Rose said. He's like, "Oh, nah, I can't go out like this."
Hell no. That's how you knew. That's how you knew the way Rogue dropped him. That nigga snapped his neck, falling all the way. So that Sentinel protocol, he snapped his neck back, and bro, that Sentinel protocol, that humanoid Sentinel shit was a problem because he gave all them niggas the 1s and 2s. They was trying to combo and jump the hell out of this one dude in Trask, and they was not handling that shit at all. He was biting the shit out of all of them.
Yeah, he was washing them. I'm like, oh, ooh. I'm like, man.
Jean was having some highlights. She was picking up buildings and chucking it out niggas without no fainting. So she was having highlights, but the Sentinel was bodying each and one of them, was snuffing them out the way and shit. Cyclops was trying to like zap them down, and that shit wasn't working. The only thing that helped them was the return of Cable. He threw the EMP canister and knocked that nigga out. So they was having a moment. They was like, Cable, where the fuck did you come from? And then that's when they had like a together moment. And then Jean was inside of Cable's mind, and she realized that was Nathan. So that had the whole Madeline story come like full surge and shit like that. And they're like, fuck, if Nathan's here, that means the future's extra fucked up. What the hell happened, man? So they realized that shit. And then you got Bastion talking to Sinister, which we find out pretty much Sinister is the lackey for Bastion and stuff like that. It was all Bastion's, big plan and all that shit. And then for some reason, I don't know how the hell Bastion had this done, but like he had a camera that followed up all the way into space, and he saw all the Union shit that was happening between Charles and the Bird people and shit like that. So he was like, oh, so the X-Men must be selling a lie to the people. This is what's been happening all along. Charles isn't dead, so we're gonna leak this shit to the news to show all the X-Men can't be trusted and shit like that. And
what did you think about that?
What, the way how he played?
That whole media thing. Like, what were your thoughts? Like the media.
Control the media.
Exactly. Okay.
Control the media. Absolutely.
Control the populace. Oh yeah.
He absolutely knew exactly what was the time to play because he had a camera out there to follow Charles to see everything that was going down, and it was like, oh, so we was rocking around this news that Charles was dead, and then the people got to get more sympathetic for them and shit like that. But he's like, fuck that, I'm sitting on this evidence. I'm about to drop the video.
Yep. Son had that in his pocket. It makes me wonder how long was he planning this?
Sitting on this.
It was some real life shit that I like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then absolutely the next freakier thing that happened was that he went into the room, and then we find out this is when we find out officially, because this is the first time we've seen him since the Genosha, slaughter and shit like that. We see Magneto, but he got him all tied, he got him all like locked down and shit like that, and he got something closing off Magneto's mouth, and then he shows him control. He shows him the way how he like controls him in ownership by like shaving his beard. Like he goes up over there with a straight razor, and he said it's all about control. He said if you don't move an inch, I won't cut your artery or nothing like that. And then the episode just ends on that creepy note where he just shaving off his beard and shit.
Very insane.
Yeah. So how y'all feel about episode 7, Bright Eyes?
Yeah.
This is the episode where we start to get into what the fuck is about to happen.
So my question was, how you alive, Magneto? What happened in that blast?
What do you mean?
Well, he was caught up in, remember, episode 5, the big laser, like, caught up. It killed all the niggas around him. But I don't know. I guess Magneto was strong enough to survive that shit. I don't know.
Well, he's a Omega mutant.
Yeah, right? I know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
What happened to everybody else in the bubble?
Obviously, he don't save himself.
I'm trying to figure out.
Obviously, he saved himself. Like, Leech is gone. All the niggas is gone. He was only strong enough to save himself. When you have a bubble and you got to concentrate on that bubble specifically enough to, like, when it gets to a point where you can only protect yourself, sorry, kids. He looked at that nigga one last good time and said, sorry. Yep. So, yeah. So how y'all feel overall about episode 7?
great re-up episode, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we put niggas on the board last episode, and this episode re-upping, and we finding out who's behind all this shit, and we getting the pot cooking. We getting the pot cooking.
They setting you up to play with your emotions again.
Oh, big time. All right, so let's start off with the 3-part finale with the same title in each part. But this one, I still think this title is a bar. Tolerance is Extinction, Part 1. Woo! Nigga! First time I heard the name of that title, I was like, that is a quiet part out loud for a lot of motherfuckers that don't be feeling how society be going.
Tolerance is Extinction. Whew.
Like, damn, son. No kumbaya here.
You can apply that to a lot.
Woo! You want to talk? What? Listen.
It was an amazing title for what's going on.
Oh, yeah. So we're gonna start this 3-part finale. Part 1. This one, we setting the people on the board again. So we got Cable and Scott avoiding each other because tension is high and shit like that. All the messiness of now, Scott finding out that he Cable father and shit like that. This is Nathan that he sent off. They trying to figure out what the fuck happened because the last time they saw Nathan, they gave him the Bishop, and Bishop had to leave. But they said some got mixed up in the time stream, and Bishop went one way and Nathan went the other. So I guess giving him the Bishop, black man fumbled. I don't know what to tell y'all. So
you bring up a good point. Where the hell is Bishop during all this?
They said he was locked up in the time stream. He went one way, Nathan went one way, and that's how Cable ended up looking the way he did. Hey,
he was time hopping.
That's what I'm saying. Bishop said, "Why y'all trust me with this white baby?" Like he's like, why it gotta be on me that I gotta raise the white baby out of nowhere? Like it's not my fault. I didn't give him the technovirus. Like
every time we were trying to rely on you, Bishop, some shit always happened.
It's not his fault. The time stream got caught up.
Nah, Bishop is like the bro man from the 5th floor, but like
yo, for real,
the MCU version. Like the nigga just be popping up out of nowhere. Hey, what's up?
Right? Where have you been, bruh?
Listen, he takes his vacation time seriously. He got PTO and he gonna use it. He don't care what the fuck is going on. Sentinels, living weapons, destroying the society. It ain't on me, bro. I clocked out.
Shoot, his PTO really mean prepare to others because he really don't be there.
Prepare to others, nigga. So all right. So Cable gives the breakdown of who the fuck Bastion is. Why is he behind it and shit like that? What's his main goal about bringing in the Prime Sentinels? He wants to replace the humans in the evolutionary chain with the Sentinels and stuff like that because it'll wipe off the mutants. So it'll erase that shit altogether. And Cable talks about his timeline, and he was like, this is kind of a fucked up version or kind of a version of Xavier's dream. He got the dream that he wanted. Everybody was kumbaya and stuff like that. Society was great because the humans was living off great. But you know what the mutants was doing? They were slaves. He's like, Xavier, you got what they wanted. Everybody's working together. We just cracked the whip on mutants. Well,
that's some ridiculousness, though.
Yeah.
So he was like that the shit is alive and well and shit like that. So if you want to stop what the hell's going on in the future, you gotta try and handle Bastion right now because they was running Cable with the 1s and 2s. They was like, if you can control time, why didn't you go back before the shit had happened? And then they were like, Cable was like, I tried a whole bunch of times. And you don't want to count how many times I fucking tried to stop it. But every time I tried to use my time stream, I would always come back right before the Genosha thing happened. And then they would always pull me back in the time stream. And then Beast was talking about this has something to do with Comertage and the Doctor Strange people. They was talking about, time manipulation and shit like that. You get fucked up and dragged around certain time. You can't always fix what you can. So they was pretty...
let me ask you this. Is it something I know this is...
Yeah.
I'm talking out my ass right now. So
yeah, no, go ahead.
Is it potentially something that's supposed to happen?
So
it's one of those. I think I forget what they call it. It's like a time dilation point where you can't cross.
It's called a fixed point.
Yeah, there we go.
Supposedly it's called a fixed point. That there's supposedly the way it goes is that there are certain points in time that can't be altered. There are certain things that are going to happen. No matter what you try to do to change it, it's going to happen. It's a fixed point.
Yeah, it happens.
Was that in Doctor Strange? What did they say that in Doctor Strange? I feel like they said that.
Well, this is when Beast was talking about the people of Kamartaj. I remember that's all of Doctor Strange's people. So this is Doctor Strange people telling it about, because they know about the time stone and shit like that. So they would be perfect to know this shit.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was like,
they was trying to clear up a lot of shit. They knew the questions niggas was gonna be asking.
Cause I kept thinking, I was like, this nigga, stop going back to that spot. You can't.
Yeah. But they explained like why, like he got pulled into that specific time, and then he was like, everybody run, and then he got dragged in right after he saw his mother, and he was like, fuck this. Imagine every time you try to stop that shit, you go back in time just about enough time so you can see your mother, she can see you, and then she gets blasted every single time.
Nigga, the trauma.
No wonder Cable's so agitated and an asshole. I'd be fucked up too.
That man is stressed and devastated, probably feeling defeated.
Cable's definitely all my life I had to fight.
Yo, imagine you doing the same thing 200 times and failing 200 times.
He said it too much to count.
And now you're doing it the same way.
I was like, bro.
Doing it multiple different ways, but failing 200 times.
I mean, he said enough to give up, and he fucking right. 200 times? You say your mother get fried 200 times? That's the only time you say hi to your mother?
Oh, hi, Mom, dead.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom, dead.
At this point, you gotta figure out different conversations for that 5 seconds you get. Like one of those times you gotta be like, Mom, duck or something. I don't know.
That's insane, bro.
Like grab her so she go on the time stream with you or something.
Yep. So in the midst of them getting the breakdown of everything that's happening, they see on the news that fucking Bastion leaked the video to the news that Charles is still out here, and you got all the what it feels like right-wing politicians all jump at the fact. They were like, oh, these mutants fucking lied to us. They're trying to get us to work with these beauties. Oh, when they're trying to fucking ruin our lives and shit like that. They're trying to destroy our very fabric of shit and stuff like that. And Wolverine was like, yo, fuck this shit, man. Bastion putting out this garbage ass news that's going down to ruin our outlook and shit like that. And in the midst of that shit going on, you got Sunspot's mom, Ricardo's mom. She throwing the banquet, and she talking to these niggas all wilding about being a mutant. She was like, you know, she talks all that from a hoity-toity, you know, rich high level, talking all that disrespectful mutant chat and shit like that. And she was wilding on that shit. So Jubilee was fed up with that shit. She was like, Ricardo, let's go. You got money, and I got a spending addiction. So she gonna spend that nigga's money. Let's go.
Her gold digging ass, bro.
So first, you knew they was gonna run with that story. You knew they was gonna run with that whole Charles coming back story. You knew they was waiting for something like that. All of them dudes.
They didn't know that. Bastion was sitting on that shit, so he dropped that shit like a bomb, especially around the time where the mutants ain't looking too hot right now, because you know the government don't want to help all that shit. They gonna feel sad about Genosha, but they don't want to help.
And them news media outlets, they ate it up. They was waiting. They was waiting for something like this. Here we go.
And then funny part is all this shit is happening after what happened with Trask being the Prime Sentinel. He knocked Rogue completely out. She was in a coma.
Good.
Yeah. As for Jubilee, listen, I'm spending up Miles' money too.
Agreed.
Spending up Miles' money too. You want to talk all that extra?
She gonna learn that I work hard for this money. Shit.
Spend it up.
So Nightwing speaks with Jean about, you know, the whole shit that happened with Madeline, about her memories and feeling the same way. She connected to Madeline because she felt all that shit that she was going through in pregnancy. She remembers the conversation that she had with Storm and just everything that happened just in general. So Nightcrawler had bars again where he was talking about blood is blood, but family is the people we choose. Nightcrawler got bars, just straight up bars all the way through. So after he has the conversation with Jean, freaky shit starts happening because we go over what's going on with Bastion, and they got Magneto tied to a X-pole some shit that me and co-host saw in Amsterdam in one of them sex dungeon weird shits that they got.
Yeah, I was like,
They said it to that expo, and then I asked another question: Where's Magnus's pants? Why was he in his underwear?
Oh, that was some freaky shit.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here?
They went because the last scene we saw, he was shaving him. I mean, I don't know how far they had him stripped and shit like that, but I think he was wearing pants. Next thing we see, that nigga tied up. Bastion, where's his pants? What's going on? What are y'all doing? How far are we going with this control thing?
Freaky nigga, B.
Right? I'm like, what are we doing here?
That's the 69 guy for sure.
Ooh, maybe they did the 69.
Oh no, man.
I don't know. We don't know what happened between those two episodes. So
Mag, they said the what was it? The reporter lady that they had down there, which I mean, you another slime ball. The other one that they was working. Yeah, Miss Kelly. She was something else. But so what was happening with that shit? They had him all tied up and shit like that, and they said he ain't talked since the Genosha shit like that. So Magneto was keeping quiet. So whatever freaky shit they was doing to him, they had him all tied up. Magneto was quiet for the whole shit. So I don't know.
At this point, we don't know what they did. So I wouldn't talk either. Yeah, I don't know how.
He definitely
what happened.
He definitely seen some shit.
Listen, they might have taken advantage of Magneto. We don't know.
Yeah. But it got even worse because she's talking to Magneto. And they showed a scene of them focusing on the Holocaust numbers that he had on his arm and shit like that, showing that it's all fucked up shit just repeating. And she asked him for forgiveness. She was like, I didn't think they was gonna. And all these rich ass niggas always asking for forgiveness after they done murdered like thousands of people. Like, man, y'all
bro, it makes no sense,
right? I'm like, you know what you did.
Talking about it wasn't supposed to be this way. Bitch,
what was it supposed to be?
That's what I'm saying. And she acted like episode 2 didn't happen, where she was like, oh, I'm sorry for the way we treated mutants the first time with the whole Magnus shit where he lifted them all the way in the sky. He said, don't let me down. 3 episodes later.
Let him down.
Like, what the fuck? Talking about you didn't know. Bitch, you was in the meetings. You obviously was in the meetings. You in the secret hideout.
Like, of course he don't want to talk to you of all people.
I think it's that human thing where you see it face to face, and I think it finally hit her at that point, where it's like, oh,
too late.
This is a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be.
The reality hits. Like
she said, oh, these niggas is real.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Oh, this shit is real.
She was out here gangbanging with a bunch of gangbanging ass niggas, and she was like, "Oh, I thought we was playing around this whole time. Oh, y'all really about to pop out? Y'all gonna shoot somebody? For real?"
That's exactly what it was.
And then now 1,000's dead on your hands. Hey man, what you gotta do? But yeah, so in the midst of this shit, Trish come back again, meeting up with Beast once again. Beast fed up with the bullshit. He said, "Man, listen, you ain't shit." But hey, so Trish trying to ask for her forgiveness because it looks like this is the forgiveness episode. Everybody asking for some level of forgiveness, some shit. Kumbaya, y'all. So in the midst of that, Cable, Scott, and Jean, they all go off to the facility that they're supposed to. They get told it's a facility, but it's actually like Bastion's childhood home and his childhood area where he grew up in and shit like that. And shit feels all creepy at this point. They end up finding Bastion's mother, who was sitting in the dark, saying she was waiting for people to come pick up. This felt like some horror movie Silent Hill shit.
Bro, it was
creepy.
13.
She was sitting in the dark with nothing going on in the middle of nowhere, talking about, oh, you guys came early. I was supposed to pack my things. Give me a few minutes. Oh, I'm gonna go pack my things now. And I guess my son sent for you to get me. And I was like, bro, what, miss, what the fuck are you doing? So everything already looked sus off there. Jean uses her powers to see through images, and apparently it brings up the past of Bastion's whole childhood and where we got to this, and how a freaky this is some weird shit. So apparently a virus from the future, which hold Master Mole and Nimrod and all the Sentinels that ever came together, it somehow freakily got into his father's body before he got to do with the mother. And then when they had sex and had the baby, that's how Bastion came out looking purple, because he was half human, half sentinel.
I didn't understand that. I ain't gonna hold you.
that
It's a virus. It's a techno virus. It's the same thing that happened to Cable. It's just a futuristic virus that fused itself to a human that got freaky with another person, and then they out popped the freaky half baby, half robot, half human baby.
So I get how it can happen, but
I know, yeah. But
how did
us how it happened?
How did technovirus get to his daddy?
That's what I'm saying.
It went to the past. It pulled some Cable shit. It went to the past. It chose some niggas and it did some. I don't know. All I know is that shit got freaky because imagine something using. Okay, here's some wild shit. Imagine some virus use your meat to go create another baby, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's fucked up on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
This is some grade A level freaky planning. I don't know. This whole episode is sponsored by freaky ass niggas. That's what it is. It looked like it all the way through, man.
Damn.
So Gene's looking through all that shit, and all that shit that went down with the parents and how Bastion came to be, and then Bastion started drop. There's so many characters in this show that drops so much like wild gems, and Bastion was definitely one of it. He talked about things like Genosha overloading people's bandwidth. You know how horrors happen every day, and it kind of like it's such fucked up things that you see that happens every day that people can't like process it, so they just go through their lives. They can't feel sad about it because it's an extreme thing. Like it's one of those things where you have a level of sadness. Like if it happens to one person or a personal person, you feel super sad about it. But if it happens to like 1,000 people at once, you don't have the bandwidth to feel really, really sad. You feel sad, but you can't feel as sad as if it's something personal to you. Mm-hmm. So he was talking about like overloading the bandwidth, like how these tragedies happen all the time and people can't like connect with it, because he talked about if you don't have some skin in the game, you're not gonna care about it as much. I was like, preach! Woo!
It was fast though.
Grade A villain shit, because this is some dark shit, and he's speaking facts. But it's one of those shits, just like the title, that you don't want to say out loud. You got it in the back of your mind, but ooh, this is dark shit.
And that's the thing about the villains in this season, is that they make a lot of logical sense. They'll have you stop and just be like,
they see shit that's happening out here, and they drag it. That writing is top tier. They understand what the fuck's going on today. The second that nigga said don't got skin in the game, I was like, damn, nigga, woo. So
that was some deep shit, boy.
Yeah, and then this is when we start to get like some mean ass cameos, because you know you wildin' when you got a villain organization meeting with Dr. Doom and Baron Zemo. They all chatting. And even Dr. Doom said, you could have informed me before you cause a war out here, because I don't want that shit to be brought over to Latveria. You know you wildin' when Dr. Doom said, hey man, calm down a bit.
When Dr. Doom was the voice of reason, you know shit is wild.
If Dr. Doom was like, you kind of wild, brother. Man. So the cameos was kicking as always. He talked about Genosha being time management. Yo, Bastion a wild boy. He's talking about stopping out the growth of mutants, because he doesn't want mutants to fall in love with humans, and you know you make more mixed race babies. He can't have none of that. No more raising up the mutant chain. He said he want to stop all that.
He wants to keep it pure.
Facts, because that's exactly, we find out what OZT meant, and it's Operation Zero Tolerance. He trying to cut out all the motherfuckers out here.
And I'm like,
tolerating some mutants no more.
I'm like, because if we want to get technical, ain't you a mixed race baby?
But I think it plays on like
it be the niggas. It be the niggas.
That's how it plays on a lot of times when people like they hate. It's self-hate. Because remember, that's what it comes down for.
What was Hitler?
Yeah. And then when you watch, and then when they talk about how he was made fun of, he was looked at weird. So it's like it's this little.
He ain't getting no bitches.
it's very weird because, like you said, it's like once you mix it, but then like you hate yourself. Self-hatred is real, B.
Yo, it is.
Remember the whole fact of he never called himself a mutant, and his mother shied away from that. Charles pulled up to the house and they slammed the door in the face because they said, "No, we can't. He's not no mutant. He's just a little. He got purple vitiligo or something like shit. It changes his shit around the purple. Like don't worry about it. He just white on the inside."
So it's kind of like that thing that Uncle Ruckus got that
Yes.
we're talking about.
Yes.
Absolutely. He said, "Don't trust those new mutants over yonder." So in the midst of all the shit that's going down with the explosion of the Operation Zero Tolerance, they get the most redneck person to show how this works out, because he was like, these are the people you would find on message boards and chat room talking about how these mutants are taking our jobs and shit like that. And they start dumping them in the vat of thing where the person gets a technovirus and shit like that. And then you got like the reporter, Miss Kelly, she was like, do these people know what they're signing up for exactly? And they were like,
I have to get more details.
He was like, I'm gonna omit the details. I'm not gonna tell y'all exactly that we're using your bodies and shit like that. And they don't know what's going on. They're getting forced to be these Sentinel robots and shit like that. And then they're just gonna keep it, rockets and stuff like that. And they said these are what the people wanted. They want to eradicate all the mutants, so I'm gonna give them exactly what they want. So he's weaponizing civilians before they snap and shit like that. They said one day you could be in a bar and a mutant flirts to them, and then they start getting to beep, boop, boop, bop, boop, boop, bop, and starts murdering these niggas.
And I'm like, oh, so these are ticking time bombs, and they don't even know they're ticking time bombs.
Oh, big time. You never know what could rock out. So that shit gets wilding. And then
so wait, what if you have another battery situation? And the guy was getting down with the mutant, and he didn't know it was a mutant, and the boop 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 happened.
There you go, boop 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 boop, and murder.
Shit,
absolute murder. So
okay, so I was saying I brought up a scenario. We was talking about these Sentinel people that they got. I was like, what happened if you take a nice lady home and you ain't know she was a mutant, and you get it in, and then the boop 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 happened.
Yeah, she show you a little freaky thing, and you're like, that's not human. Boop 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 boop.
Well, at that point, you about to the disease too.
Gotta murder.
But hopefully the pussy was good.
Hopefully it's not one of those things where she was like, I'll show you some talent, and then it's right before you get in the guts, and he like boo 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 boo. Oh,
right. This could go wrong on so many levels.
I'm just saying, I hope it's some good pussy though.
Nah, bro. So what's even wilder is that the mother shows up and she's like, this is his best artwork. And she said he drew this when he was 16. And it was in a perfect recapitulation of the Godzilla Sentinel murdering all the people on Genosha. This nigga drew this shit when he was 16. Wow. Plots.
Bro, this messes with your head, son.
That brings back to my earlier question of how long was Bastion plotting this?
For a long fucking time. He drew that shit. He drew the end of Genosha at 16.
But the thing is, he hated himself. Nigga was struggling with life.
Oh, yeah. He was in his room like...
Now parents should have let Charles take him. This one time I'll probably be on Charles' side. They should have let Charles take him.
They didn't fuck with muties. They not going to let him take him. He's not a mutant. He's just white. Listen, man. You couldn't have convinced that mother of nothing. So after she put that stuff down and she was like, this is his final artwork, she starts pulling some Silent Hill shit. She starts cracking the bones and shit like that. And she's like, oh, we was like, Bastion, you fucked up, motherfucker. You done turned your mama into one of them prom singers too?
I was like, oh, not her too.
She said the final will begin now. And then everybody started secret code and started waking up and shit because Jubilee and Roberta was out shopping and the fucking butler
started spazzing.
Yo, so what's even more fucked up is everybody that gets turned into a Sentinel. Now you gotta think in your mind, these people all at least agreed to the OZT plan. So they didn't fuck with mutants. So you see your butler? Man, your butler shady too. You see when the niggas outside in the mall, you can't trust them niggas neither. You see
True.
the people in the riots, you can't trust them niggas
true.
neither.
That's true. That's a good point.
It's the shady niggas you never expect that be smiling in your face because Beast had that button. He was like, all right, I'm gonna see what's going on. I'm gonna follow everything that's going on and shit like that. And then it started lighting up all over the world, all the secret sentinels, all the shit. He pushed the button and he was like, oh shit, all the shit going on. I gotta push the button for help. All you see is Trish grab his head. I was like, you musty bitch.
Yo, I was just like,
you are one of them, huh? One of them made last episode with the camera.
DTA, don't trust anybody.
She out there with the OZT plan. She never fuck with mutants, and she was gonna fuck you too, Beast.
Right.
Even though she pulled some freaky shit because she turned into a sentinel, she started talking some way, but then she put y'all notice she put the heel on Beast's chest, all sexy like.
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, this episode too freaky. Toleration is freaky. That's it.
Like Beast probably like, so what we doing here?
Beast felt he felt betrayed, horny, freaked out, don't know if I should hit her or what.
Right? He trying to figure out, he's like,
he was slightly turned on. Slightly
She put that whole hard part of the heel straight into that nigga's chest. He was like, I don't know why I like this.
Right? Beast like, I don't like this, but I like it.
Yeah. Said, am I a problem? Why would I betray my own people for this right now?
Beast was going to do some inner turmoil.
So yeah, everybody was turning into sentinels. And then we finally see fucking one of Wolverine's major highlights. He finally get to the action. They try to take Wolverine out. You got Trish dragging him all the way to the sky, and this nigga pulls out with the Wolf Claw tornado. He cuts off her arm, and then he goes all the way to the sky, and he starts doing the spins. He chops one, he chops two, he chops three, all the way, rolling all the way to the sky. That shit a highlight. That nigga was looking great in there. Haters got to give him his credit.
He's putting in work.
Wilkins?
He's putting in work, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's putting in work.
everybody got to get a highlight.
My nigga went crazy.
He's putting in that work.
My nigga went crazy.
Rogue was still knocked out. She in a coma. So it's all about Nightcrawler and Wolverine. And boy, were they were serving combos. Fucking
This shit looked like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yo.
They was giving hands and feet. And I was here for it.
The scene where Wolverine was like, I got 6 reasons why I got a problem with that shit. And then Nightcrawler pulled out, he had 2 swords in his hand and then one on the tail and shit like that. He said, let me give you 9. 9, nigga. And then they started hitting the combos, slice, combo coming up. And then you got Nightcrawler with the Bamf. He disappeared all over the place, and Wolverine chopping them up and shit like that, going combo, going back to back. Wolverine hopping off his shoulder and shit like that with chops. Shit was crazy.
Hard,
it was
the hardest part of that shit was when Wolverine stabbed one of them, and Nightcrawler grabbed him, and we got the first person Bamf. So Wolverine got dragged into that shit. He was like, oh.
That shit was wild.
The shit was hard.
That shit was crazy. But after all them combos, they went outside. They was tired. But then it looked like something out of the Dragon Ball Z movie Return of Cooler, when all the Coolers started coming after Goku and Vegeta at the same time when they was tired in Super Saiyan. Man, they looked off and they saw them robots. They said,
they're like, oh, come on.
What we gonna do now? So a bunch of them started coming in. And then they went over to where Sunspot and Jubilee was. And Jubilee is like, all the fucking X-Men can do is fly. All them niggas fly, and I don't got no flight powers. So she was running for them, and she jumped off a ledge and shit like that. She was like, oh, shit, well, I hope somebody catch me. And then she sees Ricardo pick her up and shit like that. He captures, he gets Jubilee. So he's another one that she's
like, you too?
Yeah, she was like, damn, nigga, they handing out flight as a auxiliary power for all y'all niggas, and they left Jubilee?
That does suck, though.
Yeah, when you an X-Men, you can't fly. You just, hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta live the life, man. You gotta live a life you gotta live your life differently.
Yeah, you gotta be in that Blackbird.
But what's Jubilee's level of power?
Well, we gonna talk about that in the next couple episodes because I think niggas was lowballing her until she certainly showed out. She showed everybody gets a highlight. That's one thing they made sure everybody gets a highlight.
That video game episode with her and future her kind of showed us where her powers go.
It shows us a glimpse of how strong that could go. The whole shit with Control Freak and shit. Yeah, definitely. So they blasting through. They going crazy and shit like that. Yo, let's talk about the Summers family reunion in that fucking in the fucking Blackbird. They was in the Blackbird and the Sentinels was running after them. Shit was looking crispy and shit like that. The Sentinels was punching a hole into that, destroying. Yo, we had some fucking kamikaze Sentinel Prime people. There was like 3 of them that jumped into like the wing of the fucking helicarrier. You like, goddamn, they wild out here. So they bringing the ship down and shit like that. And they was like, everybody moved to the back. Jean had a joke that she said to Cyclops. She's like, yo, Beast is going to tear into you. She was like, this is the 3rd Blackbird in this last month, bro. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do about it? We never accounted for humanoid Sentinels to fucking fuck up our helicopter.
Like, that was not in the budget.
Yeah.
But you know what was funny to me?
What?
When she said that, I was like, how much money these niggas got?
How do they make their money?
Yes, that's what I went on like somebody needs to explain, like, where did they get this funding from?
I've always wanted that.
No.
How much money does Charles got? Where he got his money from?
Yeah, how you got the mansion and the kid? You know what? I don't know. But keep that in mind for the very next scene, because what did they hop out of that fucking? What did they hop out in the Blackbird in? Even Cable said this. The nigga said, "You got a Porsche,
bruh? Where is this money coming from?"
I love how Summers looked back at him. He gave him that look like, you ain't know about your daddy like this, brother.
I have a theory. Charles Xavier must have something on Iron Man. He must have got some dirt on Tony Stark, because he getting this money from something.
Or maybe this nigga is out here embezzlement money or something.
You know, he could.
Maybe he's sports betting. I don't know, man.
He got the mind power. You know, he could.
Sports betting on some mutants.
Cause something ain't adding up, bro.
Right,
yeah, bro.
The math ain't mathing with these funds.
Cause I need to know the answers to this.
You got the big school, this big plot of land, all these expensive jets. Cyclops got a Porsche.
You can feed all these niggas. They not hungry.
Somebody funded Genosha, so.
Or you know what? This nigga be stealing money.
Imagine mind control. Mind control. Give me your money.
The U.S. Reserves better check their gold bars, because they probably ain't there no more.
Because this shit makes no. Because the entire time I was like, third Blackbird. How the fuck? Where does the money come from? What insurance fund this nigga got? Because the school is free, right?
As
far as I know, they don't pay no tuition.
I guess that I know. I heard a joke about X-Men Evolution. I think niggas had to pay funding for that school, but I don't know.
Imagine. Oh yeah, we want to save your life, but it's gonna be tuition's gonna be $100K a year.
We're gonna need somebody to follow the paper trail to find out where this money comes from.
Do you want to take your mutie child, or do you want me to handle it? Are you tired of having your house burned down the 4th time this month? We can handle that.
So what Charles just said is all the rich family bills?
Yes.
He's blackmailing somebody.
I'm telling you, he's blackmailing somebody.
It's fucking something. So back into the episode, we see they in the Porsche. They pulling off combos. They rip off the top of that bitch and they start getting to work. Cable starts shooting out the top of that shit. Jean mind controlling the whip from the side. Cyclops is pulling up with the optic blast that have them drifting. These niggas is Tokyo drifting with the optic blast while Cable with the big lasers and firing out. That shit was crazy. But yo, agreed, they definitely got money to blow, because the way they hopped out of that Porsche to do a superhero landing with no regards to the Porsche, like y'all just disregarded the plane, and now y'all just done deboed the Porsche. Like y'all got money to blow apparently, because all this shit is just blah.
And this way they probably got like 5 more.
The way how Scott was looking,
shit looked crazy. But that scene was pretty hard though. Like that family just fucking around, fucking everybody up.
Cyclops getting 2 superhero landings for him and his entire family go hard.
Listen, he said we're gonna show him we don't mess with the Summers. I was like, okay.
He was right. Tokyo drifting on your optic blast in a Porsche while your wife whip it while your son shooting blast. That shit crazy. That shit sound like a dream. That shit sound like a dream. I know in the back of his mind, I know that nigga wished there was a camera to capture that moment. That's a Kodak moment. That
shit was legit a moment.
That's a Kodak moment for that nigga for the rest of his life for sure.
Listen, Cyclops been showing out this whole season, so I ain't even surprised at this point.
We gotta give big praise. Big praise. Yeah. So we go over to Roberto's slimy ass mom because they was getting chased by the humanoid sentinel people. Then they pop into the party, and the first thing he says is, "Mom, help." She sees these random, like these niggas don't look like police or anything like that. They said, "We're not here to hurt. We're here to help. Hand them over to us." They don't show no identification. They just a bunch of robots that flew into the middle of your party, and she got the audacity to be like, "Mijo, put down your weapons. Go with them." Bitch, you don't know people
are. Bruh.
How you sound like your son?
I'm like, excuse me?
She saw everybody looking at her son like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she kept the mutant around." And she said, "Mijo, sacrifice yourself for my money." What?
I felt the type of way.
Oh, I was angry. I was She showed that she had tolerance to a level because the second her son got exposed, she said, "I'm gonna protect my friends and my money. I have no son."
It's scary. Scary because I like at that moment I felt homeboy.
Yeah.
And anything he did outside of that, I would understand.
Yeah. Especially in that very moment, he got shackled. Not only is you watch your son get fucking shackled by the neck and think this is she's opening the door for them niggas to go.
You know the question I had during this part?
What?
Where's his pops?
True. Yeah. It's a good point. Where Pops at?
He probably the one making the money. He probably the one who's keeping this shit afloat. He probably doing some illegal shit.
Cause I was just like,
she do the parties, she spend the money, his family spend the money, and he go to work doing some illegal shit.
She do the party. That's some freaky shit. That sounds freaky.
He's too busy with work to come, so she got to do
the level of betrayal at this point, yo.
Yep.
Shit crazy.
So everything is all fucked up, and the mansion's all fucked up for sure. They done the Sentinel Prime ran through all that shit. So we got Bastion pull up in his cleanest fit, his suit and shit. He pulls up to the destroyed X mansion, and then Mr. Sinister messages Bastion real quick. He said that stupid reporter lady, she let Magneto go, and they all. So Bastion heads back because he was about to make his grand old entrance in the X mansion, laughing at these niggas who got their mansion all towed up and shit like that. So he dips out to go back to the secret lair that they had, and they all like lock up Miss Kelly and shit like that. And she was like,
Christopher.
Yeah, she was like, the shit that's been happening for the longest time. She was like, I'm not fucking surprised about the shit that had happened because I'm feeling a state of deja vu. Like these tragedies just keep happening. And the one thing that stood in my mind, all that I thought about it was Magneto was right. And in the midst of she making this speech, we got this nigga in his underwear flying across all the state lines all the way to fucking Alaska. He ain't freezing his balls off for some reason. I guess that little pod that he puts himself in is pretty warm. He went out there and he just said enough and dropped the world's greatest EMP on a bitch and
shut the whole shit down, my nigga.
He said, don't let me down. Well, you did. So I'm gonna let y'all all down.
What was that you said? Magneto was right?
Yep. She said Magneto was right. Stamp it.
Say it louder for Charles in outer space.
For the nigga that's coming down right now, Magneto is right.
Nobody can argue with that, B.
Oh, at that point, we was all in agreement. And that shit, I loved how they showed what happened when the EMP started shutting down. They showed the corners of the world that it started to affect. So we got some main cameos here. So we got a cameo from, first off, Spider-Man. And we talking about the 90s Spider-Man. Guitar riff and all. He popped up. Then we got the Silver Samurai in the cameo. He see what's going down in Japan. And then over in Russia, we get Omega Red. He get reactivated up in that shit. Mm-hmm. So we got like prime time cameos all throughout that shit. And then the Sentinels, the Prime Sentinels, all are dropping and shit like that. And Wolverine said that crazy bastard did it. He did it, and Morph was right beside him. He was like, he did what? What the fuck happened? And he was like, yo, he declared war on the world, man. He done shut down every technology and shit we got, bro. He declared war. And then Wolverine said the magic words. He said, damn, I wish Charles was here. And all you see is a spaceship crash down. You see some nigga in a bug helmet. Open that shit up. He said, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. To me, my X-Men. He called the only niggas that liked them the four smartest X-Men.
Yeah.
He called Beast. He called Jean. He called Storm. He called Cyclops.
It was that episode was fly as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, I sponsored that episode. Was freaky as hell. That episode was freaky as hell. You tell me if you were a person in any state, because like when Magneto busted out and went all the way to like where he could send the EMP the strongest, wherever like it's probably the middle of Alaska. Imagine you looked up into the air, you saw some nigga flying in his drawers.
Yeah, that's true.
Why he like I guess his drawers?
Well, I guess it wouldn't be nothing new. Look what they deal with on a daily basis. Mutants, robots, aliens.
I guess, but still at the same time, why does nigga gotta be in his drawers? Like nothing, like no cape, no nothing. It was just him flowing out here in his black drawers.
It's like, oh, okay.
I couldn't honestly. I wouldn't have been able to tell that was Magneto from wherever high he is. I'm like,
well, they cut off his beard and did who knows what to him. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why he said
he justified. I can't say he's not justified.
That EMP, he said, I had enough of the freaky. I'm turning that shit off. He's turning off all the freaky.
He had to do what he had to do.
Right?
Agreed. Fucking agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Like somebody had to do something at this point. He's like, yo, nah, y'all do it. Nah.
But it really showed off his power, though.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, power and leverage at what space in the earth you got to be in and stuff like that. But like Omega, hello.
Well, yeah, he's no Omega. It's like so him, Storm, they dangerous.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, Coles, how'd you feel about this episode 8?
Yeah, I love this episode. It was wild. It was a wild ride.
Yep. Yeah, we getting closer. We messed up a lot of things, but we finally getting people back on the board officially. The people that we set up in episode 6, they finally actually getting the fuck back on the board.
So at this point, is Captain America still looking for his shield?
I think so. I didn't see him in the streets fighting the Sentinels. What happened, bro? What happened? I thought he was fighting a good fight. What happened, bro?
That nigga pussy.
He's like, Tony, I can't find my shield.
Imagine they had like a cut clip mid scene of this nigga just looking through the snow. It's not here. Fuck. It's not here. Fuck. Where'd you put it?
Oh man.
All right, so let's step into Toleration is Extinction Part 2. So this one, yeah, we getting into some messy shit. So Charles wakes up. This is like everything is like hit by hit with each other. So Charles wakes up out of his bed, moving his legs and shit like that. He like shifted to a side so he can get into his chair. Magneto puts his fit on. I don't know where the fuck he found his whole fit, but he found his fit together. He put that whole shit, his helmet back on and shit like that. Bastion picking up his mama, feeling sad that his mama got shut down and shit. Like he didn't do what he did to his mama. I don't know why you crying tears, fake ass nigga.
Facts.
This nigga crying tears like he didn't do this to his mama. He
like you did it.
Crying in tears like niggas did this. Man, bro, please, you know what you did. But yeah, so he finds mama. And then in the midst of all this, you got people chasing. Jubilee and Roberto can't catch a break because all the people that mad because they don't got no electricity and shit like that, they blame all the mutants. So they chasing Jubilee and Roberto down. But like right when they got them quartered in a spot, we get the arrival of Storm and Forge. They finally show up on the board.
So finally, they like, hey, we here.
Welcome back, bitches.
Yep.
And then I guess they get in the feeling. They're like, what the?
Yep. They get the feeling of that, and then in the midst of that, we go back to the mansion when Scott and Xavier gets this chat, and boy, when they chatted, this nigga Scott said, Magneto, really? My nigga, really nigga.
All of it was justified.
Oh yeah, everything Scott said was justified because he was like, you left it, you didn't trust me, your number one student. Fuck, I had the X-Men under lock and key for like 1 day. What the fuck were you doing, man?
And you couldn't let nobody know you was alive?
Out here fucking
no
aliens,
message, bro. You up in some bird guts, bro? Pigeon pussy, my guy. Come on, son. What's wrong with you? But yeah, and then so Scott was chewing him out. He was like, I ain't trying to hear nothing. Charles was like, I did this for you. I didn't want you to be enslaved by my dream and shit like that. But now I'm here. We all back here where we all started and shit like that. Tried to get a handshake and shit like that. That nigga just kept it pushing.
Scott like, nah, bro. What we not about to do is none of this.
But the thing about it, like, I felt him on that.
You felt who? Scott or Charles?
Like I felt what Charles was trying to do. Because it's like, all right, I know you about to have a family soon. You need to have your own life.
Yeah.
But as an Omega level psychic nigga, you should know better.
Yeah. No, super agree.
Right? If that was the case, you should have put pieces in place so he could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of just left us to the wolves, and you saw what happened. The wolves attacked. So shit. So in the midst of that, we got so Rogue wakes up, and the group all comes together, stuff like that. They all informing everybody of what the fuck happened, pretty much. Storm and Jean are back together. The sisterhood's looking wonderful and shit like that. Beast and Forge, they bros. They come back. They do the Predator fucking handshake and shit like that. They tech bros. This nigga's like, yo, son, I see you with the new fit on your leg. That shit ain't giving no problems with the EMP. He said, nah, bro, I worked on my own shit. I got my own home tech and shit like that. He said, man, that shit fire. Let's come together. We gonna collab on some shit right now. So they dividing up the team. They trying to figure out who the fuck is going to what island to handle who. The world is going down. They said the magnetic field is dying because of all the shit that Magneto did. Fucking asteroids about to come down to Earth and shit like that. Like Magneto fucked up everything. Everybody's in the Dark Ages. By now, they said like 1,000 people have fucking died because of like whoever. Like imagine everybody that was on like a heart monitor or something like that. That shit done.
That's true.
Shit done.
Everything
so
clipped.
Many bodies that got clipped. Thanks to who was ever on that Life Aid and shit like that clipped.
Clip. Generators clipped. Electricity clipped.
Yep. So
everything goes tick is clipped.
Yep. So they divide the blue and gold team together to divide who's taking on Magneto, who's taking on Bastion.
Damn, how many people did Magneto take out? Damn.
A shit ton, because I mean we saw the results on that probably coming soon and shit like that.
Just thinking about it.
But imagine you just shut off electricity for a bunch of people just like that for the
everything.
world.
That's crazy. But it just also shows how he is that dude.
Yep,
Yeah,
agreed.
Wow.
Absolutely agreed.
I'm thinking, imagine if that happened, like everything just.
Yep. So Xavier in the middle of the conversation, the breakdown of the team and stuff like that, and Roberto goes to like Roberto starts eating them up with his commentary and shit like that, because he was like, yeah, I got my faith in the trust of the government and stuff like that. And Roberto was like, well, the last time you trusted in somebody, we got the Magneto situation. You saw how that turned out. And I was like,
valid point.
Ain't no lies, brother. And it's so funny. Somebody pointed out to this. There was like, when Charles came down, he never met Roberto's before. So he just slid up into that room and he turned around. He's like, excuse me, who are you?
Like,
because he never seen Sunspot before.
True.
He like, who is this nigga? And why did he just rip me a new one?
He's like, I'm another casualty of your dream, sir.
Ooh! Bar on that one. Bar on that one for fucking sure. Oh my god. But yeah, so the scariest words that could ever come out from a goddess like Storm. She pulls up to two nerds and she's like, impress me. And then niggas like, all right, so what we're working on right now. Imagine a bad bitch come up to you and be like, impress me.
I was slightly turned on by that.
That's why I'm like, well,
let's see what we got here.
Yeah, we gonna show you what we got, Miss Goddess.
We don't want no smoke, but we do want smoke, but we don't want smoke.
So they showing off all the shit that they got a scrambler that's gonna neutralize all the shit that Bastion got his control of the Sentinels and whatnot. Shut all that shit down. And then they was talking about working with like neutralizer tech and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And Storm was like, Storm don't like the word neutralizer. She already know Forge was on that fuck shit working for the government and shit like that. So the second they said neutralizer, oh yeah, it's thunder in the background. They said, okay, never mind. No neutralizer.
Listen, so like I just got my powers. See, like I just got my powers back. What we not gonna do is this.
It's like working with a contraption and saying, yeah, so we're gonna use this whip to control the masses. And the black people like, whip.
they trigger Storm's PTSD.
Whip, brother.
Don't do it.
What you mean about that?
What you know about that?
Exactly, man.
She's like, I will take out this whole facility. Don't play with me.
Yeah. So Rogue is wearing. She puts on Gambit's jacket and she talks to Charles about all that shit. She talks about all the messy shit. You left us behind to die, brother. You pretty much left us behind, man. Mm-hmm. Look like because of you, Remy's gone. And look at the shit that we had to pull up with. And in the midst of their conversation, fucking Magnus pulls down. He comes in with his fucking entrance rock, wherever the fuck he come from. He come from the sky with his big ass rock, and he pulls up, and Magnus threw some shade to Charles. He was like, "You was out here with your Ladybird Queen while I was holding the fort down." And shit like that, and you saw all the shit that happened. Talk about we should still try to curry favor with these humans. Fuck the humans.
Yep.
Shit. He said Genosha was a promise realized. He said Magneto. He said Magneto remembered. He was like, I promised a boy in his eyes that he wouldn't have to worry about anything ever again. And then I had to stare at that same boy in his eyes as he got vaporized with his eyeballs going in the back of his head as he died while I told him I couldn't save him anymore. Like Magneto was going through it. He felt all the pains of all the shit that he couldn't protect at the time.
But it at that point, everybody I think was just like, he tried to be the good guy.
Yeah, he tried. He episode 2, he put himself in shackles. He told them niggas, don't let me down and I'll work with you. He tried to work with him. And then Genosha happened.
He really did try. He tried to do it Charles' way. He really did.
Yeah.
He said he ain't tried. He definitely gave it a go.
Yeah. He gave it his all.
Yeah.
So he had a good.
I think that moment with the little mutant. I think that was the tipping point for Magneto.
Yeah. It would be if you stare a child in the face in the moment of death, and you promise this child something, especially protection, and then the child gets vaporized in front of your face. That's one of your last scenes that you see. Yeah, of course you'd be fucked up.
And then. I mean, you'll get into it.
No, right now, because he was so convincing that Rogue said, yeah, he's fucking right. She puts Gambit's jacket on Charles right before she flies off with Magnus, because she's like, you're gonna have to live with this with the pain that you wrought. So she left with him, and then Magnus is like, yo, is there anybody else that wanna want to pull up, and Roberto like, my mom gave me up. Fuck all this shit. Fuck the humans.
Yeah.
So he went up there too, and Magneto was like, well, the door's open. If anybody wants to join us, we're gonna be chilling on the fucking asteroid. Bye.
Peace, niggas.
Yep.
So a divide is made, and we got a group going to asteroid M, which is the Magneto group, who's gonna stop the shit that's going on with Magneto. And then you got the people on the Galapagos Island, the island Merida. That's where Bastion is. So we dividing up the teams to go handle that. So we got our bit of Scott and Cable chat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they have the re-iconic line where Scott passes him a bag of the uniform that he wants him to wear, and it's the yellow leather and shit like that. And he was like, "What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Are we fighting a battle? Or are we going to a circus?" And Scott had the fire line. He was like, "What did you expect? Black leather." And that's a play on of the joke they made in the first ever X-Men movie where they tried to clown the original outfits, where they was like, what did you expect? Yellow fits, yellow leather.
Yeah, that's actually one of the lines I actually really remember from that series.
Bro, we talk about a series that no ball for ball. It took all them years. It took about like a solid 24 years for them to clap back. That's great.
Yeah, you can tell whoever's writing this is a real fan.
Oh, big time! Everybody a part of it, from writers to the voice cast, everybody, fans. So they get to chatting with that. Charles is talking to, I don't know what the fuck, why these mutants keep talking to President Kelly, bro. He's not on your side. Give it up. Every time they talk to President Kelly, he not fucking with nothing, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, why y'all keep talking to him?
I don't know, bro. Shut the light off. That nigga don't like y'all. He fake. He fake.
Like, give him the best shit.
He chatting with y'all, but he like, fuck these muties. Like, he dead like this. So in the midst of them chatting, they in the old island where all their old fits is. So everybody putting on their classic fits. Like Jean wearing fits that you only see all the way in the old comics. You see like Wolverine tat up the yellow and brown burgundy type shit that he be wearing and shit like that. So they back in a classic to go scrap. How y'all felt about the old classic fits?
Classic, and
I like seeing that.
It was a nice little to that whole thing.
Yep. So yeah, that's nice. They suit up and shit like that. Fucking Beast. He definitely ain't tired of the pussy, because he's right by Trisha's bedside, taking care of her. Like, she didn't try to just slaughter motherfuckers just a second ago.
Listen, I told you that man was conflicted about the shoe on his chest. He got to see it through.
He said, please wake up, because that heel thing, it awakens up in me. So yeah. So Jean and Scott, they hug before they part ways and stuff like that, because they're going off to different sides and shit like that. So Bastion, he said, fuck all the ERP shit. He got himself all downloaded. He is locked in. He got all these niggas Sentinels fused all together in his technopathy, and he activates all the original looking Sentinels, all they ready for battle ready shit. So he activates all of them, and they leaving out the wherever his base is, and there's like thousands of them going into attack and stuff like that. And I know these niggas got to be tired. I know these niggas ran this theme about 100 times, but here we go again. The Sentinels are attacking another fucking jet. Let's go back to this. How much money do you niggas have? Because that's got to be the 4th jet that they done blew up.
You know, I was thinking about this. I wonder what the rest of the world is thinking as this is going on.
What you mean? Like, specifically, what you mean?
Right, we know we dealing with the president of the U.S. What is the rest of the world thinking about what the heck is going on right now?
Well, it's depending on who's controlling the media right now. Are they seeing the news? Are they seeing the shit that's going down? Or are they hearing from word of mouth niggas that's talking about mutants is going crazy?
I would think they would be seeing it. I don't think they can control the media that much.
Are you sure? Because Trish was the only one that had a camera, and Trish is out of operations.
That's true.
So who got the camera? Who's recording?
Social media out there. So I'm like,
the only person who has an effective camera right now, and plus remember EMPs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
EMPs in the
EMPs
dark.
shut down
that's
everything.
Right. That's right.
But it's like on top of that, the only person that has an operating camera at this point is probably Bastion, and he's obviously going to shun the media on specifically shit that he wants to go with. So yeah. So you're only getting word of mouth news from people who don't fuck with mutants.
You got a point.
Yeah. So we get into another jet attack. Everything's scrapping. Storm and Jean. Before Storm leaves the jet, they have the iconic line. They said, "Make them mind your weather and weather your mind." They got the sisterhood all together. They go out and
like that. Dap. Yep.
Fucking they putting hands to these Sentinels, and Morph turned into fucking Hulk, and we get a Morph smash.
Yeah, that was
spiraling, busting the Sentinel's fucking head out and shit like that. Like shit was nice. So So the X-Men are tearing up the Sentinels. They washing them shit like that. Even Beast is getting a pound of flesh and shit like that. He said, what's I think what is it? One hand what's a sound with one hand clapping without another? And he grabbed another Sentinel's hand and smacked him Debo in the face. like Beast had some moments, everybody had some moments. They was fucking up the Sentinels.
I was like, good, smack him up.
Yeah, so Sinister pulls up and he tries to be some kind of bitch ass nigga with Jean. He was like, "Oh, I know what's all up in your jeans," because he been like probing.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh,"
Yep. So Sinister pulls Jean to the side to have like a one-on-one fight. He offers to tell Jean when they officially switched, but Jean don't fucking care. She don't care when they got swapped and stuff like that. So they end up fighting and they end up into like some bowling alley. And she threw that nigga to the bowling pins, and it makes the sound effect and shit like that.
Yeah, I was like,
she started taking the bowling balls and start throwing that shit at that nigga face. He started struggling when he got hit. He got hit with that first one. He was like, all you hear is
I'm like, good, that's what you get.
She started beating his ass, throwing everything at that nigga.
You know what? I like that part was because it showed how mentally strong she was.
Oh yeah, no more fainting. She throwing the hands, and she throwing the hands of the nigga who captured her and kidnapped her and shit like that. So it works.
You saw like, oh, she's like, I'm done with this. No more being scared.
Yeah, fuck all that.
She's like, I felt like it's go time now. I'm tired. It's like you piece. Oh, let's go.
Oh, yeah. Big facts. So shifting on the asteroid, we got the X-Men sneaking up to fight Magneto. They pull up in their jet, but when Rogue and Rob go to like check out, because they're like the front line of defense, they go to check out what's going on in the ship, and they open it up, but then there's nobody inside, only to find out that Nightcrawler bamfed them all the way into like Magneto's full layer. So they pulled up on Magneto, and we got Magnus. He locks up on Charles, and he gets to chatting, and we get another iconic part of the line and shit like that. Like Charles is like, "Yo, Magnus, you can't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing this and that." Yo, Magnus said, "I finally get to say what I wanted to say to you for a long time." He locked that nigga down and closed his mouth. He said, "Shut up." That was a good scene, man. For a lot of people that be hearing Charles's bullshit. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was right with him. I was like, shut up, Charles.
He talks a lot of shit, man. He talks so much shit. So in the midst of that, Morph tries to play off as Sinister, which is a good like back-to-back scene because you think Sinister's running away like the bitch he is. But Sinister runs to Bastion trying to put the neutralizer on him. But Bastion already figured out. He was like, Sinister is too much of a rat. He wouldn't try to save anybody else but himself. So he already figured out that's Morph.
Like it ain't him.
Yeah. So Morph captures up him, and then he catches up Beast, and he confiscates the neutralizer. And then you got Storm and Forge who get shot down into the water because the Sentinels are jumping these niggas. And then in the midst of that,
a lot of Sentinels. So yeah.
Yup. And in the midst of all this, Mr. Sinister wanted to drag Gene out because she knew he'd been with a certain person, and Sinister got control over Cable's mind. So Cable got tricked under Sinister's mind, just like Madeline got tricked, and Cable started shooting out at Gene, and he was like, "My mother was a great telepath," and it kind of runs in the family. It don't skip a generation, so Cable shows off his telepathy powers as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
that nigga went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, because they went to beam struggling and shit like that, and like while Gene was having a tough time, because I'm pretty sure Gene's strong. Like Cable's strong, but I'm pretty sure at this moment, like Gene's probably stronger than him, but she's probably holding back because she don't want to kill and then have to explain this shit to Scott. That's already fucked up.
Yeah, that she may be tired because she been dealing with Sinister for
that too. So she sent the last image over to Scott, telling her that they struggling and she might be going bye-bye. And Scott's stressing out. He's like, oh shit, oh fuck,
no, not again.
Yeah, so in the midst of that, they fighting Magnus, and Wolverine ends up popping off his helmet, and Xavier goes into Magnus's mind, but Scott stops him from doing it because like Gold Team still needs more help trying to figure out to help Bastion and shit like that, because if they turn on the EMP, all the Sentinels gonna come back and then they're just gonna be even more fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So Scott had to do what he had to do, and he shot Charles. Maybe it's a personal bit, maybe it's to save people and shit. But
boom, boom, yeah.
Yeah. 2 times for the good, 2 times, man. That's for leaving me, nigga.
It's gonna happen to a nicer person.
Yeah. So Magneto gets into his bag and pushes everybody back, and then he puts the helmet onto Charles to lock him down, and then he slowly starts to squeeze his fucking Charles's head with the fucking thing, and you hear him holler, and then I know it. All you see is from behind, bam! Wolverine caught that nigga slipping. He got the claws going straight through Magneto, and the blood is dripping off that shit. And it's just like Gambit when he got stabbed into the side. The music just stops and the blood's dripping. And he's like Wolverine is like, I've been in a lot of war, and the brave ones always die first. And Magneto said, "Oh, brave ones dying first, huh?"
So
and he turned that shit around.
Yo, in that moment, Magneto was like, "This nigga stabbed me. I can't believe he stabbed me."
He said, "Oh, okay. So we gonna do the it's mutant on mutant crime here. Oh, so this is how you want to do it."
He probably just like, "Yo, he really stabbed me."
He said, "Our rivalry ends right now." He said, "Oh, what you mean by that?" He pushed him back, and then you saw all the adamantium start to pressurize out of his skin and shit like that, all break the bones. And even Charles is like, "Hey, yo, no, whoa, you wildin', don't do it."
He didn't give a fuck on that.
This nigga said, "Yeah," and all you see is that adamantium ripped out that boy's body. He hollering in the way of Larry. He hollering.
He was like, "Son, I've been leaving you alone pretty much this whole time, and you gonna come stab me."
He said, "Bro, you know exactly what's in your body, and you had the audacity to come sneak stab me with metal claws?"
He's like, "I got something for you."
It's so funny. It was like, nigga, you know who I am.
The disrespect. You thought you was gonna kill me this way? You was gonna kill me with metal? Magneto? With metal, nigga?
He's like, the disrespect.
So yeah, that's how we end episode 9. So how y'all feel about episode 9 and that kind of cliffhanger? Wilkins, you go first. I know you want to say something about this nigga getting ripped.
It was the epitome of what we needed to see.
Oh, word? We needed to see that? We needed to see his adamantium body get ripped from him?
No, because the nigga, listen. He didn't listen. Now do you see what happens? You don't listen to Scott?
Oh, here we go.
Do you see what happens? You don't listen to Scott Summers?
He was the only one brave enough to do the maneuver, man. Magneto was gonna squeeze. He was gonna squeeze Charles's brain like a bunch of juice, bro. He saved Charles.
Come on, son.
Come on, son. He did
the
what
one
he had
hand,
to
I
do.
get it.
He was the only one that was probably going to be able to do some shit like that.
Nah,
it was not a good. It was not a good idea.
It wasn't the best calculated move, but I understand where it came from.
He thought
it came from his ego.
Yes, it did. But he also probably thought he stabbed. First rule, we learned this from Infinity War and what happened with Thanos. You go for the head, nigga. You don't stab him in the chest.
So
you go for the head.
He was probably thinking this wasn't gonna work, and it'll just be enough of a distraction. He probably didn't think he was gonna get him.
He probably said, "Shit, he didn't think he was gonna get this far because Magneto's powers. He should never get creeped up on by metal niggas."
Right? He's like, I should be able to distract him enough for Scott to do the splash, blast thing.
The second he stabbed him,
he
stabbed him, he was like, "Damn, I didn't think I was gonna get this far."
Oh my bad.
It was, nigga. Why did you do all of that?
Pretty much.
But you know what? He took it like a G.
I mean, he had no choice.
Yeah, at that point, he's like, damn.
Took it like a G. Like, bro, he got that shit. He literally got his soul snatched. Like, bro, like what you just gonna have to accept that. Thank God you got a healing factor, brother.
Oh, poop.
Shit.
True.
All right. So let's step into the big episode, the season finale, Toleration is Extinction Part 3. So we open up on it opens up interesting because where we left off, you thought we'd have, left off with Wolverine looking in the corner, mangled and shit like that. But we open up on Charles and Magnus. They talking and they meeting in a bar. This is kind of like a recreation of like how they first met, and they talking about they came out to each other because this is a conversation of the shit that they happened at the bar, and it was like, yeah, I don't know about that thing. Have you ever met a mutant before? I've never met a mutant before. And then he was like, maybe we can do something with these mutants. Maybe they can change the world and shit like that. Maybe we can kumbaya and work together. And he was like, I don't know. You hear what they do to mutants over the news. And then all you see is Charles go into his mind. He was like, yo, by the way, I'm a mutant. This is the first time. Talk about having your trust in a brother or something like that. This is the first time these niggas is meeting and they just open with each other. He was like, I'm a mutant. He said, well, shit. Metal. I can bend that shit. So this is them first meeting and they just kind of talking to each other. But they already have different viewpoints on mutants and whatnot and shit like that. So Charles was in Xavier's head, and
which I didn't like.
Yeah, he said it's a violation. Everybody said it's a violation. He's not allowed in here, but he, Charles
should be arrested.
Charles the manipulator. Worming his way into people's brains.
Put on the registry.
He's talking about he said, Magnus, if you don't turn back on this fucking EMP, bro, I'm gonna force your hand. Everything Charles said in this starter, honestly, everything he said in this episode was kind of sus. Because he kept talking about forcing your hand and forcing his way into your mind and shit like that. Like, Charles gives very villain rhetoric here.
But also, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do they have an understanding, low-key, like, nigga, I don't do this, you don't do this, even if we're going to war up against each other?
Oh, yeah, this is
you would think
this
so.
is a red flag. This is 100% flag on the play. You're not allowed to do some shit like this.
Charles violated.
Yeah, he's all up in his brain matter and shit like that.
And he's gaslighting him in his head.
Yeah, literally.
After he violated.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's literally doing the shit that they were gonna do to him on that bird planet.
Shit.
Yo.
Fucking around with his memories and shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh shit. Damn. Shit.
So he fucking around in there and he's saying he gonna force his hand to turn the EMP back on and shit like that.
He ain't the bird bears.
And he did it. He did it. Charles, they go out of his mind, and Charles is seeing grabbing this nigga, and he's putting in the blast over on him and shit like that. And he's forcing the EMP back on. And we see they go back around to show everybody. We see the cameos. We see the Silver Samurai in Japan seeing that shit turn back on. We see bitch ass Iron Man and bitch ass Captain America in the bunker with the president and all the government folk,
talk about it.
not fighting the good fight, not in the streets, not helping your public. No, they in a bunker protecting themselves from all the business.
Do you think this is ever gonna set up? I don't know if they're gonna do it like even like the next 2 or 3 seasons, whatever. X-Men versus Avengers.
I see that season 3 because Apocalypse is definitely all of season 2.
Yeah, it definitely does. The fact that you got all the rest of the heroes out there being heroes, but y'all in the bunker.
First of all, we need the team together. As we're gonna see, the team is divided in deep things. So we're not getting no X-Men versus. I can see that as a very much. We finished with this, and then we set up with that with season 3. Because I mean, all the results of shit that happens this season, we got to see how that affects modern day in the next season, especially with all the shit that goes down. So that shit's gotta like ruin relations and everything altogether. So I would definitely do it with season 3. My only problem is the guy who they had show writing and running the whole show in season 1, he got fired, and we still don't know why. But they're keeping his ideas for season 2. So season 2 might be good, but they're gonna go into a season 3. But they said they're gonna have a new writer for season 3. And you know how that works.
Oh boy.
I think we're all gonna be watching until the end of season 2. And then by season 3, it's gonna be so yeah, we had a good time, guys.
Yo, y'all think we're gonna get a Gambit cameo in season 2?
Oh, course, please, so. Bro, we're gonna talk about the mid-credit scene because it's a guarantee. But yeah, so hopping into bitch ass Iron Man and bitch ass Captain America and the bitch ass bunker with the bitch ass president. Come on now, y'all out here talking about y'all the Avengers, y'all the people, y'all wear the flag, y'all protecting the people out here, but y'all what? Nigga, you got super soldier powers and shit like you got all this nanotech. Fuck you doing in a bunker?
You got Doctor Strange outside.
Capitalism crazy. Doctor Strange is outside using magic, working on people by candlelight. How y'all got Doctor Strange showing more love for the people? How Doctor Strange love the people more? Doctor Strange?
And y'all in a bunker.
Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange doesn't give a fuck about people. What you mean?
In a bunker. Just chilling. Like
watching the world end. What
is it? How you in the
chilling,
bunker?
watching the world end, and then y'all have the audacity to plan about shooting off bombs that could end up ending in the world. Are y'all for real? Y'all dead ass?
It don't make no sense. Make it make sense.
Capitalism.
Make it make sense.
Capitalism. Because you know they was bought out by the president. Captain America's shield is bought out by the president. Iron Man service is bought out by the president. Bunch of bitches.
So then,
damn. Right? I know. Wilkins like
in the midst of that, in the streets, because the cameos don't stop there. We got Daredevil stopping the looting of Hell's Kitchen. He blocking shit. So we got Daredevil working. Doctor Strange, like we were saying before, doing surgery by candlelight and magic, by wishing a prayer. He was in action. He didn't even take off his fucking cape. He put the stirrups over the cape and started working. So you know Doctor Strange was locked in. He's fucking locked in. The Sentinels are back up because you know everybody's going around and shit like that. Jean. They show Jean underwater. So after Cable got the upper hand, he probably beat her ass and then threw her in the water, which is some big savage shit. Bastion shows up and he's already further transformed. He already looking like something else, and he breaks the neutralizer. And then he starts talking his shit. So many people is locked up, and then Storm tries to appeal to his humanity, and fucking Bastion starts choking Storm.
And like Storm didn't know better.
Bastion should have known better too. What the fuck is he out here? He choking. He got the audacity to be choking Storm and shit like that. Everybody was like, "Get your hands off her."
Yeah, everybody making mistakes right now. Everybody making mistakes.
Because everybody angry.
Yep. So the Sentinels out here attacking the president, and that's the only time you see the Avengers get into action. The second the Sentinels start to attack the president, you see Iron Man and Captain America all ready to protect the president. They don't protect the people, but you know they got to protect the president. You know,
Right.
so they got to protect their bottom line.
The man should have got clipped.
Hey, pussies.
So the Sentinels tried to attack in Wakanda. They started busting the glass, and all you see is the Black Panther right there. He like, this must be some white people shit for sure.
Facts.
So when they started attacking Wakanda, you know they got to get into action.
Yeah.
So,
then they gonna come over here. It's like, oh, hi.
So you know they going with it, and then you see a cameo from Cloak and Dagger. They showing up to help Daredevil all flex out. Then you see other cameos like Omega Red and his faction. They protecting Russia.
Cool as fuck.
They protected Russia. Then you got Psylocke and the rest of the mutants in Genosha. They protect the motherfuckers going on. Like cameos galore, man. The shit was
I like to answer my question about the rest of the world. I like they know what's going on now.
I love shit like that where you have an effect that has caused something that happened in the rest of the world. And you know this is the Marvel universe. We know there's heroes out there. They were showing how niggas got down. And I loved it.
I loved it too, man. It really showed like, oh shit, this is not just it's affecting everybody around us.
Yep. The whole they showed the planet and they showed they was gonna go around and handle shit.
Like what the hell are these things? Oh, nah, all right.
Yep. So in the midst of this, Bastion went to go clown motherfuckers. He went to go clown Cable, and he told Sinister to let him off the mind control so he could tell all that shit. He was like, "How many times did you try this shit?" And that's when he reveals that he tried this shit 200 times. 200 times to save his mama and everything and shit. So Cable, so Bastion was like, yeah, you out here, you did all that shit just to save your mama. And she ended up dead. And Cable came back with the clap back. He was like, how's your mama? And Bastion took that shit personal.
Yo, he took it personal. He did.
He said, yeah, nah, fuck this nigga. So he grabbed him in the back of the neck, and he had one of them sentinels ready to shoot him in the back of the neck. And Sinister was like, hey, buddy, we have an agreement. You told me I can keep that nigga as a puppy. And he was like, he needs to be a sign for everybody to know not to fuck with us. They gonna grab his head and show him what's up. But in the midst of them talking shit, Jean get her moment. Jean get her big moment. All you hear is the Phoenix start to rise. And the selling point of how good this scene was, Storm is in the back laughing her ass off. She said, ha-ha, y'all done fucked up.
Was like,
Jean said, I am Phoenix. Show that shit up.
Storm dude was about to go down. She was like, oh,
bro,
shit.
She snatched them sentinels so fast, threw them niggas to the wayside, and Bastion said, oh shit, I gotta go. This nigga ran. She was
like, nah, bro.
She got the bird claws and she grabbed that nigga out the sky, just grabbed him down. She said, where your bitch ass think you going, bro? She fixed up the neutralizer and put that shit straight on that nigga's head. EMP again. Shut your bitch ass things down. Shut down all them sentinels.
All of them.
She handled that shit. Nah. She handled that shit. And the hardest thing she did. So Bastion was in bitch mode. He was like, yo, Sinister, come save me. And he threw Sinister right in front of her face. And Sinister tried to start talking shit. He was like, yeah, I know all about you. I know how to control you and shit like that. Right. And she was like, oh, word? Well, feel the power of the Phoenix. And she broke that nigga down. She ripped all the mutant DNA that that Sinister had mass produced and stole all those over the years, all to create the body he has now. And she ripped all him by a DNA sub-level. Ripped that nigga out all the way until he looked like an old ass man. He was like, my face, it's so ugly. Somebody show me on my face. And more final clap back. He showed him his face and he was like, well, it looks like this, you little bitch. And the last scene we get of Sinister is him crying and running away like an old little bitch.
Whole bitch.
Yep.
Big bitch. Old bitch. Ugly bitch. Golden bitch. Sick bitch. Man. So Sinister was all clowned out. So he got thrown. And then Jean used up her powers and stuff. So she said she only had enough like Phoenix Force juice to kind of channel it at the moment because she felt that her son needed her help. So Cable called her and they're recovering stuff like that. But like in the midst of all that handling, Bastion got the upper hand again. And he violated. This nigga said, I've had it up to here. And he stole fucking Cable's prosthetic arm and he started smacking him with it. That shit like
hilarious.
That shit looked like something out of Toy Story when they took Buzz's arm when he was acting like Mrs. Nesbit. Started beating his ass with his own arm, and then he took that shit and then he transformed together. He gave himself some new full fit Batman Beyond ass design, gave himself 4 wings and shit like that. This nigga fused with his arm, left him without an arm and shit like that. He was like, well, y'all fucked with my plan. I'm gonna go with plan B, eradicate the rest of the planet. Fuck y'all.
And I'm like,
he said, I'm going.
It was such a dope shit, son.
Yeah. He said, I'm going into the final plan, which is just destroy y'all all.
Cable so like, oh.
No arm, nigga. No arm, nigga. He disrespected you. He stole, and then he used it to make a cool ass transformation. That's big disrespect.
It's watching all of this got me so hyped for the second season.
Oh, big time. And the final fight that's coming. So the X-Men they place all the folk in the plane because right now Xavier and Charles is having a mind battle. They both look like they're having seizures, even though they're knocked out right now. Xavier gone so far in Magnus's head that his mind is drifting. He can barely remember who the fuck he is. Charles got too deep in the brain. That's why this shit is taboo. That's why we can't be doing this shit. Because Charles got the power to erase niggas from a mind, like just everything about you is gone. You can't remember your family, your friends, nothing.
He violated
big time. So
it was hella disrespectful, son.
Oh, big time. This is the taboo. You're not supposed to do this. So Cyclops talks to Wolverine. He was like, "Don't you disappoint Jean. You better wake your bitch ass up. I can't let her cry over you. We never gonna have a happy day again. Get your ass up." So Jean is okay. She messages off to Scott, and she's like, "We're all okay." Bastion is coming, but he hurt Cable, and then Scott gets into protective father mode. He said, "Oh, that nigga hurt my son. All right, send him up here. I got something for him. I got an optic blast for his ass." So they try to get their shit together. Everybody's preparing because they know Bastion's on his way, and the shit's serious. Xavier from Beyond the Mind is calling for he's calling Cyclops and Jean to help to gather all the people together for shit. And then Nightcrawler is praying before the battle. Shit feels extra serious. Shit feels like niggas is thinking that they might die and shit like that. So Rogue chats about she's on Gambit time and shit like that. She's like where our hearts is all in the cards and shit like that. We got the faith of the cards and shit. So Bastion gets on the ship. He goes to the black hole shit that he tries to absorb and tries to unleash. So the asteroid goes further, plummeting into Earth, destroying everything. And all you hear out of nowhere, Rogue is on 10. She said his name was Gambit. Remember it. Bam! Oh, shit out that nigga. Send that nigga flying like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Flying, my nigga.
Yo, I was here for it.
She wilds out on him, hitting him with combos, hitting him with sonic claps. Had that nigga ripple in the face, shaking and shit like that. She just smashing and chucking and throwing and tossing him and shit like that. Beating them up, yo.
It's the shit was fly, boy.
Yep.
Shit was fly, and it also was emotional.
Yep, all that rage and guilt and fury within that punch because she was like,
yep. She found that pain in that fist and she got to working on that shit. So, but she put in all the work. She damaged him a little bit. The face pieces out there, but then he recovered and then he started pulling some okie doke shit. He started teleporting and dodging on her and shit like that, and grabbed her up and started choking the fucking life out of her and shit like that. And then she needed some help. So Sunspot came out of nowhere and started blasting him. And then he started using his government name, and he was like, "Nah, fuck all that. Call me Sunspot." And then they started to get the scrapping. And then we go over to the bitch ass bunker brigade, and they figuring out what the hell to do. They said they looking at the Magneto protocol, and President Kelly's like, "Man, I don't know if I want to push the red button, but them niggas is doing some pussy ass shit out there." And side note, I want to have a quick rant on this, because the person they showed as the Black Panther is T'Chaka. Now, T'Chaka is an interesting person to use. What the fuck is going on? And I want to ask about this because this is feeling like an MCU thing. Ever since Chadwick Boseman died, now I understood for that Black Panther movie that they were doing the sequel and they were trying to, give honor to Chadwick and not want to recast and shit like that. But there's something weird that's happening, and I talked about this with Maurice, and I think something weird is happening where they have, if you're under Marvel Animation, which is all under the MCU shit, they don't want to bring T'Challa in because they have it all connected up with Chadwick Boseman. So it feels like they don't want to use the character anymore. And that's fucking up with timelines. That's fucking up with senses. That's fucking up with everything. And then also, T'Challa is still a cool character that you can still use in things. Yeah. So why are we going above and beyond not to have T'Challa? And I even I went to so far as going into Bo DeMayo, the showrunner's Twitter, and even he said, "I cannot speak on it." That means it was a studio decision. So it's weird. It feels like we're never going to see T'Challa in any other medium going forward again. We're going to get the Black Panther, but it won't be T'Challa ever again because they'll just wrap it up with Chadwick.
You think Chadwick signed a contract or something?
Maybe it could be.
That's a possibility. It could be contractual. It's possible.
I'm not saying that it is. Maybe
it could be. Yeah, we didn't think about that. Yeah.
Let's say
I'm just contract.
Like you bring up a valid point. It could have been something like, "Yo, hey."
He knew his time was going, so yeah.
Nobody can portray Black Panther if the movie does X, Y, Z or something of that age. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because you're right.
Because if you think about it, the video games, they've chosen an era in the past. There's a new video game that's coming out specifically with a classic Captain America and a Black Panther, and there's T'Chaka. They've been using T'Chaka more lately and stuff like that. Like everything I've seen more in medium has either been Shuri, the son, T'Chaka, but no more T'Challa in any other medium.
Yeah, so Wilkins has a point. It could be contract related. It could be something related to the movies.
Yeah, because I did read, and you guys know a little bit more than me.
Probably, you got a point.
Potentially, this might be they might try to connect the cartoon to the MCU movies.
I don't know how that's like.
I don't know how that's gonna be either, but that's what I've been reading lately. How
I feel like because of the MCU, they smidged more importance on certain characters that didn't have. Like you've seen the '90s Iron Man and stuff like that, but you didn't see them connect that strongly with the X-Men and stuff like that before. But I think they picked these specific characters because they're highlighted in the MCU. Like Doctor Strange wasn't around in the X-Men cartoons and shit like that, but Doctor Strange is a thing now because we are familiar with Doctor Strange in the movies.
Yeah, because I think he only appeared in Spider-Man from what I remember.
Yeah.
So, and what I had read was that because of this type of success that they're getting from this show, they're going to try to make it somehow connected to the MCU. So maybe that's and listen, this is probably goes back to the studio thing, and then now they're trying to potentially figure something out right now. But they had that in mind as well, just in case this is a success. Let's keep it connected somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass right now.
No. You have a point because there's little hints that show off. That we're gonna talk to a mid-credit scene that also talks to that point too.
Well, I think what will probably happen is we'll probably get an X-Men movie first as their introduction, and then at some point after that they'll be integrated into the MCU.
Yeah. They'll definitely work around it or something like that. But like, definitely for characters that we see in MCU movies, they're gonna get more highlights in these cameos and stuff like that. That's why they definitely made a thing to talk about Kamertage, time, show off Doctor Strange's powers and shit like that. Like they stress that more, like it's important and it's an important thing in the MCU. So why would it not be an important thing here now?
Casting for that will be interesting. The only lock I can see right now is probably Hugh Jackman. But everybody else is probably up in the air. If you think
it's depending, you think he's gonna do more movies past this Deadpool Wolverine thing?
He may.
I think he's only doing this movie.
No,
I think
they
might.
think so.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna ask him.
Oh, when you get the interview?
No, I see him all the time in my gym.
Oh yeah, you do.
There you go.
You did bring that up. Yeah, shit, you do. Plug.
I told you that he said what he said about the movie, right?
Which one?
The Deadpool movie. Did I tell you guys what he said?
No.
Oh, so he comes to my gym, the nicest dude in the world, like the nicest fucking dude in the world. Like he's one of those guys, super down to earth. Comes in, does his workouts. He has his trainer on like his phone, and he does it. I don't really talk to. I ain't gonna lie. The first time I met him, story time, by the way, story time.
Go ahead. Hey, we got time.
So the first time I met him, I kind of was pretend like I didn't know who he was.
Big time.
So I was like, "Hey, what's going on? How are you? My name is Wilkins. I'm the personal training manager here. What's your name?" This motherfucker looked at me for
your name.
2.5 seconds. He smiled and said, "It's Hugh. Nice to meet you too."
That's a great line.
Oh, man.
It's Hugh. Nice to meet you too.
So, anyways, he's always been super friendly. We'll say what up to each other. I'll say hello to him. Super friendly guy.
Yeah.
Now, I fucking marked out when I saw the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Fucking marked out. Like any person who likes these Marvel movies, any comic book person marked out. So, he comes into the gym the next day. I fucking roll up on him like he stole something from me. I said, "Yo." He goes, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, we need to talk." I said, "You need to talk." I said, "Usually I don't bother you about your stuff, but I need to talk to you about this."
You can't walk in here after that trailer.
And basically, I said, "Yo, listen,
nobody.
The streets is talking." He goes, "What?" I was like, "The streets is talking, bro." That trailer was amazing. And I said, "Listen, I know your back hurt." He said, "What?" "Because you carrying Marvel right now with that trailer you just released."
You and Ryan just picking that shit
I said,
up.
"You and Ryan is doing your thing." I said, "Listen," I said, "Yo, I'm going to see this movie 3 times, and I've only seen a trailer. But I know I'm going to see this movie 3 times.
Hey, tickets available now."
He starts laughing. He said, "Listen, I don't talk about my movies like this, but this one is going to be really good."
I know.
That's all I'm going to say to you.
I haven't doubted a Deadpool movie before, so I know I'm going to enjoy this.
And that's when I was like, this is going to be fire. But I also think after this, he's going to be stuck. He's doing at least 2 X-Men movies.
Okay, I can see that. At least one more after this for sure.
Listen, if he watches this season, he probably like,
because he still looks good. And remember,
yeah.
And also let's remember,
the Marvel died hard though.
Wolverine is like 200, 300 years old.
Yeah.
So Hugh Jackman, he is older now since the X-Men movie.
It works.
He can still look old.
Yeah,
and
it
still
works.
play Wolverine.
Yeah, because Wolverine
is old.
Yeah.
Right.
Wolverine's an old ass nigga that smells.
Yo, why you had to get there?
I mean, he not lying. That nigga's feral. It's kind of goes with when niggas is feral. Yeah. All right, so let me step back into the episode. The tangent rant about T'Chaka. You got a good point about what they could be doing, and it could be contract stuff. I never thought about it. So Good point. But yeah, so T'Chaka is talking with the group in the bunker about the Magneto protocol, and they all end up agreeing to it. And then nigga said, "Give me my red button," and he ends up pushing it for that shit. So we got to deal with Bastion and fucking missiles heading towards the asteroid.
Let's talk about this. What at this stage? What was the point of the Magneto protocol? What was the point of initiating it now?
To blow them up.
Hit
them with missiles.
But you're gonna blow up this big asteroid. They did
not think farther than that because because if they hit the asteroid's gonna come down. It has to come down. And where the fuck do you think it's gonna come down?
Who's gonna stop it? Who's gonna stop the asteroid? You, Captain America?
Listen,
you Iron Man? Y'all the bunker. So what y'all gonna do?
Listen, this X-Men series is showing you the true might of politicians. Their brain powers is going as far as it reaches. All they thought about is blowing up. They're not thinking about the results. Because anybody with a brain would have told you, asteroid come to Earth.
Yeah, because
you hit it with missile, it is not going to blow up. Pieces will land somewhere. You will have to deal with that.
I'm like, y'all did not think this through.
All them leaders and said, blow it up. Blow it up. Now, one of y'all said, where the shit going on then? Nobody? Nobody opposed? Not you. Fucking Steve Rogers is talking about, we got to do what we got to do for the good of the people. Nigga, you ain't even outside.
So we going to blow up the planet? That's what we going to do?
Yeah, for the good of the people, apparently.
Right?
Basically.
Captain is a bitch. And then Tony over there not saying a word. So, double bitch. Probably his missiles.
Damn, you're probably right.
And Stark Tech missiles. You think they got government missiles that ain't Stark Tech?
You right.
Damn.
All of Iron Man 1, all their missiles said Stark Industries. You goddamn right Magneto Protocol was going to be smacked by that Tony Stark Industries.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right on that one.
Yeah, man. That fucking Magneto Protocol shit is just not. It's just not. I don't know. They didn't think too clearly on that shit.
Yeah, bro.
Oof.
So they sent that shit out, and then in the middle of that, Magnus is starting to remember his family and stuff like that. So Magnus is remembering what's going on, and he sees on a boat. Now, this is like a cameo, but it's like in the dark cameo. He sees Rogue on a boat, but beside him, if you look real good, right beside it is Polaris. What is Polaris to Magneto? I think that's what is his ex-wife?
Yeah.
Okay, Polaris, and then right beside it, you see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, his two children. So all his majorly important people is on that boat. So he starts to recall everything. They try to fight on family, like Charles, gaslighting ass Charles, talking about we family, man. We in this together. We brothers. Yo, you know you love me. And Magneto said, don't try to patronize me. You violated my mind and everything. Magneto speaking the truth and the facts.
Yep.
And Charles is like, nah, brother, but you know you love me. We brothers. We in this together. We family. You know you don't choose your family. You chose me. You love me. We in this together and shit like that. And he's like, and then he's trying to make him remember what happens, and Magneto starts to have like a full-on breakdown because he can't remember what his parents look like, and it goes all the ways to mess with his psyche. He starts to speak in German. He starts to hear the walking of the footsteps of the soldiers of the Nazi coming into his home and shit like that. He gets a full ass breakdown and shit like that, and then Charles is like, if you get pulled under your mind, I'm going to be there with you. We go ride out the store. We going to get washed out together and shit like that. So in the midst of that, we got Bastion dealing with Nightcrawler and Cyclops and Jubilee. They all hitting combos on them. Combo bam. They going back and forth. Scott hitting the combos and shit like that. And then they having a laser battle.
Mm-hmm.
I love this era of cartoons that have happened after the anime boom because fights get extra crispy, all thanks to anime. Because the second Bastion shot out that mouth beam, all I could think about is the Ozaru from Dragon Ball Z. He did the mouth beam, and I said yes. And they had the big beam collision struggle and shit like that.
I love that.
Boy, this is my favorite moment. Shout outs to Marvel vs. Capcom. Yo, he threw up the.
He threw it up.
He did it. The optic blast, bitch. He said, ah! That shit. I said, big pop. Big pop. That shit got out of me. He threw up the X, and I knew it was go time.
I was like, oh, we really doing this. Oh, let's go.
Optic blast!
Optic blast! So Bastion came back. It was not good enough to clear up Bastion. So Bastion got up, and he started growing weird wings and shit like that. He grabbed up Scott, and he threw him across the room. And then Jubilee said, fuck out of here. So she threw her little saucers and cut all of those extra pieces he got off his wings and shit like that. And then Bastion had the audacity to turn around. He said, oh, you gonna slay me with your 4th of July? And she was like, oh, what?
Yo!
And she said, she charged that shit on his bitch ass. He said, oh, take this 4th of July. Surprise, nigga. And she
got
slapped
something
him
for
in the
you.
face, and she had the fireworks going, and she threw him across the room. Bro, Bastion was fighting for his life. He was dripping out the ooze from the TMNT movies. That nigga was leaking. His jaw was down on the side. He got one eyeball. His recovery was trying to fix up his face, but it tried to pick up pieces that was already disintegrated.
Yeah.
Jubilee had that nigga on the ropes.
All people like, yeah, 4th of July. Yeah, I got your 4th of July.
Jubes is strong as hell. Everybody was he got hit with clean optic blast, and that shit didn't do nothing. But Jubilee hit him with some sparklers, and that nigga was wrecked.
I'm telling you, she learned some stuff in that video game. She learned some stuff.
She learned that her future self was like, yo, I'm gonna teach you how to stunt, baby.
Can we talk about how right now that's not her peak? Her future self was her peak, so that future self is dangerous.
She still hasn't learned how to complete, because remember, she's a teenager, right?
She's 18. She's 18. She just turned 18.
Yeah, 18.
That's crazy.
Future her may be at Omega level herself.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. After what she did to Bastion, she Omega already. Nigga, what? All the Omegas couldn't handle that shit. So
that's scary. Do it.
So he handling business. He talking shit, and he was talking about yeah. I got the upper hand on y'all. Then a Sentinel comes down. I know. He said, yeah, we're gonna fuck y'all up now. And then the Sentinel stomp his ass. And we was like, what the fuck? And then all you see is Hank pull out. He was like, well, it worked for the Romans. Trojan horse, anybody? He popped up with the rest of the crew, and they all got that nigga pressurized down and shit like that. So they got Bastion on the ropes. They ready to jump him. They ready to beat his ass. And then Cyclops decides to pull the kumbaya shit. Wilkins, what's good with your boy? Get your mans. He pulled
he did nothing wrong.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He pulled the talk no jutsu. He said, we can't be like our fellow brothers. We got to show him mercy. Mercy?
Yes. No.
Mercy? Did he show him mercy in Genosha?
So you want to be better than you want to be better. Turn the other.
We're not trying to hit that right now. We're not trying to hit it.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Charles, we just talked about Charles turning the other cheek, and he gets smacked in every fucking cheek he's ever had. Why is it kumbaya now?
Hold on. You talk about kumbaya. Did you forget what he just did to your son?
Yeah. The reason he looks all dripped out and nice, all that's your son's arm. He's wearing your son's arm.
We want to do better than that. I'm biased.
God, look, yes,
no.
So if Wolverine
he should have hit him with another optic blast right then and there.
Whoa. So if Wolverine said, kumbaya, guys, we can't do that. We got to be like all the others. How you gonna feel? Same speech, Wolverine.
Wolverine's not like that because he's not strong enough mentally.
Oh my
God! He's not like. Well, I'm saying, what if he was like that? What if he was like that? He gave the speech.
Let's slide this one. He should have optic blast him again.
They should. Nah. After all the shit that done happened, he ready to blow up the world and everything.
This should have been his Rogue and Trask moment.
Nah.
What you mean?
He did the right thing.
He did the right. God, local. He did the fucking right thing. Man, listen. This is the bullshit. So so Cyclops decides to stand 10 toes down on Kumbaya, fucking over everybody else that was a mutant, and he wants to stop fighting. And he's like, we not gonna fight the future. We're gonna embrace it.
Really?
So they go to talk no jutsu him, talk about the different philosophies and stuff like that, while the missiles are coming. And Bastion spoke the truth again, because he said, "Oh, I want you guys to look outside, because they rather see you niggas dead instead of watching you motherfuckers have babies. No tolerance in this bitch." So the missiles come in, and the missiles all fuck. They had everything handled, and the missiles came and fucked it up like America usually does. Fucked it all up. So the missiles came in and they busted open the black hole shit that was on the asteroid, and it started sucking in everything. So that already big fucked up over everything. And then Bastion gets pulled in, even though they tried to raise a hand to him. Bastion, take my hand and help. If how you gonna tell a nigga that took your son's arm to take my hand? What are you doing, Scott?
What are you doing, Scott?
Scott, what are you
trying
doing?
to do better.
Scott, you had all these points. I'm gonna have to take them points back.
Did we not learn anything?
Sorry, roll them points
from
back.
Charles Xavier?
Scott's a cop. We gonna roll them shits back. He's an
op.
He's an op.
Nigga.
Roll them back. Roll them back.
That's a cop.
Roll them
back. Nigga, a cop?
Roll them back. Kumbaya.
He went too.
This ain't the same nigga that was talking about fuck them normals. We muties all day. What happened to that Scott? I was loving that Scott. What happened? Why he picked up the badge? Why is he under Captain America now? That Scott, I would see him in the bunker.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. You're right. He ain't no better than Captain America. I ain't in the bunker right now.
Get your man's hand Scott the shield. Hand Scott the shield, because he's capping right now. He's capping. Come on, son.
Come on, son.
Come on, son.
This is mad disrespectful.
Come on, son. Come on. He broke my heart with that kumbaya shit. It was time to jump a nigga. X-Men are known for jumping niggas. You gonna be all kumbaya for the future and shit like that. Yeah, all right. While we kumbayaing, the humans that you trying to protect chose them over you and blew y'all up.
Yeah, but he's trying to do better, son.
We've learned what trying to do better does here. We learned what kumbaya
My problem is that every kumbaya always leads in the humans, and the people who call this shit never get penance. Why are they always excused for every? They murder mad niggas on Genosha and they don't got to pay for nothing.
You know who tried kumbaya? Magneto.
Better.
And look what happened to him.
Scott, you sound like a house slave right now.
What?
House slave, nigga. You're pissing me the hell off. Talk about let's come together. Why should we show our slave masters? Why should we show our slave masters anything? We should show them to be better. Don't be angry at all the things that they did. If they rape us, if they beat us, it's okay. We just gotta turn the other cheek. Be better.
That man got a point. That man got a point.
Come on,
you a house slave. Got
a point.
Scott, you a house slave.
You mad as Scott?
He sounded
doing,
real
Scott?
just right now. He got a point.
What are you doing, Scott? You're breaking my heart, bro. And in the midst, missiles are coming. So you chose wrong. So yeah,
I don't think Cable would be talking this kumbaya stuff. I'm just saying.
Because Cable got
Cable can't lend a hand. A nigga took it.
The one you're trying to help took it.
Wait, tell me why Gene told you that nigga hurt your son and you out here kumbayaing with the man. What's wrong with you? He put on big dad mode. He said that man hurt my son. What happened? What happened? What happened, Scott? What happened? What happened, Scott? What happened? This ain't the nigga. This ain't the nigga I was enjoying for the whole. Why you dropped the ball in the last episode, Scott? I was enjoying you for like 9 episodes. What happened, bro? 10 and a half. I call you.
Gene would have obliterated him. I'm just saying.
Gene would have ripped that nigga from molecule by molecule. Madeline would have made sure that nigga was in the dirt.
Oh yeah, Madeline would have made sure he ain't coming back at all.
True.
This is the number one cop shit I've ever seen Scott done.
Stop saying that.
Come on, son. I know you hurting, but you're gonna have to get this work. Nah, son. Scott,
just
put that bullshit.
He might as well just take his badge at this point.
Hand that man a shield. He obviously deserves it.
Just give him the stars and stripes at this point.
Y'all haters. Yeah,
give him the stars and stripes.
So Scott and Gene, they have their moment. Let him try to pick up on whatever the hell he had left. Let him have time to talk to his son. It's a very emotional moment. I love the moment where he get to see his eyes. Gene, first time I think I've ever fucking seen Scott's eyes too. They're really nice eyes. They held it back and shit like that. They had a big ass emotional moment because they knew it was time to go. He said, I didn't want to be a deadbeat like my daddy, so I at least got to tell you a goodbye and shit like that. It was all nice. And then everybody's trying to control, because, you know, when America fucks up, who has to save them? Fucking mutants, obviously. So Beast is trying to work to control the impulse of the asteroid coming into Earth to blow up. Everybody's working together. They're coming up with plans. They're pretty much fucking sacrificing themselves. Cyclops tells everybody to fucking take the jet and leave so he can sacrifice himself, because that's something Gene would do. So he's like, fuck it. I'll sacrifice myself to handle this shit. So everybody's working together to do what America fucked up and did messed up themselves, because they had it under control anyway. But yeah.
So he rather sacrifice himself than go back and tell Gene what happened.
That's funny.
Either way. Yeah. So in the midst of that, we get our next cameo, which I want to talk about this cameo real quick. So we see Peter, MJ, and Flash Thompson, and they're just walking in the debris and stuff like that. All hell's breaking loose. You don't think they could have used the Spider-Man? What you doing, Peter? Why is he not suited? Daredevil's out there. Cloak and Dagger's out there. Peter, what are you doing?
That's a good question.
Why the fuck were you not? Like, that's my only question. I'm like, I like seeing Peter out of the suit and stuff like that with MJ, but like, all hell broke loose. Why are you not suited up? Spider-Man. What?
I guess my only thing I can think of is I guess they didn't want to push a narrative to try to say. I guess they don't want to give us any kind of hope that they'll introduce a Spider-Man 98 or something like that.
Honestly, they already fixed the cliffhanger, because remember they showed us that he found MJ. That was the cliffhanger, because he was leaving with Madam Web in the end of the old series to go find MJ, and Madam Web promised. Well, Madam Web delivered.
Yeah, so I was like,
he found MJ.
I think that episode they was trying not to give us too much, so they was like,
I think that was a way to be like, here you go, here's your answer, just in case if we never do the series. Here you go, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. So
we got an opportunity to close up this little loose end, so let's just do this here.
That's my only reason of thinking why Peter ain't suited and booted, because bro, what you like, everybody's in that action. Don't act like Cap out. Don't act like Cap and Iron Man. Don't go saving yourselves here.
And Scott.
Shut up.
You're right. You're right. Don't be like the house slave. I'm sorry, bro. Like
you call him the house slave is wild. Bro.
Don't be like, come on. Don't be it, man. But yeah, so
what up, Kumari?
so we got Morphin here, and he got the big moment with Wolverine, because Wolverine he's still passed out in his coma, fighting for his life, and the words he says is Gene. So Morph takes his moment, and Morph turns into Gene and tells him that, and Morph tells him that they loves him, and they Bo DeMeo confirmed that this is definitely Morph confessing their feelings for Wolverine.
Is he still tweeting about the show?
Yes. as far as he can, because Bo DeMeo is explaining how they did with like season 1 and the ideas of season 2. The only thing I want to know is why the fuck he got fired. It's been way too hush hush. They got to reveal because without them letting us know, we need answers. Because why the fuck would you not bring him back on? All this good work, all this goodwill, all this shit that's going to Marvel, you're not gonna hire him back.
I don't think it's true, but he must have touched somebody. This got to be something.
Something had to happen.
I heard it might have something to do with him having OnlyFans, but I'm like, why the fuck do y'all care?
Why would y'all care? I don't think that's major. I don't think that would be major enough.
If he's slinging egg sausage on OnlyFans, who the fuck cares? This nigga saved your brand.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I just wonder what. Yeah, because we need to what happened because.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing that's plaguing me because everybody's standing up. Like if it's something bad, tell us so we don't keep supporting this nigga.
Exactly right.
Bad.
Don't leave us in the dark
on us. That's what I don't.
How is it? Like it feels like a James Gunn situation. Like he did something to upset the company, and then they should just call him back. Because remember, they fired James Gunn in that first Guardians and shit like that, and then they brought him back for third. I feel like they just need to make bygones be bygones. They need to see their bottom line and see that this is a huge success and just call that nigga.
Bro, it's the highest rated. Isn't it the highest rated TV show on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's the highest rated Marvel thing. Point blank.
Marvel.
Yeah, point blank. Yeah, it's the highest rated Marvel thing.
So yeah, they need to figure that out and get that man back to work.
Yeah. Don't go shopping for new writers. What the fuck y'all need it? He's right there. He wants to do more. What is wrong with y'all? Why y'all fucking up a good thing? Y'all gonna get a new writer and he come up with some boo-boo shit and his lines ain't even hard. His bars ain't even hard. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Right? No, don't bring us up here and then just take us down.
Season 2 already has a mountain to climb. Season 3 is in the dirt. Season 3 is in the dirt, yo.
Oh, season 3 is gonna be trash. Season
3 is in the dirt, bro. So yeah, so back to the show. So
fix
we got
Marvel, fix it.
So Beast is working and Nightcrawler's praying. They've done a ton of praying on this episode. Magnus and Charles swimming together in his mind. He's trying to make sure he get back together with what he can gather up. And Magnus finally realizes who the fuck he is. And Magneto wakes up and controls the asteroid, controls it, puts it all up in a bubble and shit like that. And just out of nowhere, right when it's about to hit the earth and shit like that, they control it and starts to raise it out. And then a flash of light, them niggas just disappeared.
You know what? If I was Magneto, I would have sent that asteroid in the direction of them bird mofos.
I believe. I mean,
Milky Way Ghetto, you hold this.
Good point.
We don't know. Plus, I mean, that woman was a homewrecker. She was ruining his relationship with Charles. I don't know, man. Let's talk about some of them scenes. Some of them scenes look like they was looking at each other a certain way, man.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote that shit like they said there was a couple of brothers. I was like,
maybe some history there. We don't know.
I don't know about brothers. They was definitely writing about something, but they was dancing around the gay line for sure. They was definitely looking at the whole thing set up looked like two people in a relationship talking to each other. That whole episode.
Yes.
Yeah. That shit was set up that way. So they disappeared, and then they didn't say this, but like the news report said it, but they were gone for 6 months. So 6 months has already passed. The world looks like it's already been in hell. Like it doesn't look like nothing is recovered after all the shit gone down with Bastion. Forge is looking for them, and on the posters, you look at certain stuff, and there's like Easter eggs going around. They're looking for certain like X-Men that weren't in this show and stuff like that. They're looking around for like Colossus, and there's even some touches to MCU because they're like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They're off-world. Off-world where?
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, so they put a little touches on that, and then out of nowhere, a nigga finished with his PTO. Finally showed up after vacation time to look at all the damage. Bishop shows up. What up, niggas?
Man, I'm just like,
Forge pulled off the gun on him. He's like, who the fuck are you?
yeah.
And he's like, yo, put down the gun, Peter. I know you better than you know yourself, brother. We gonna be niggas. Don't worry about that. But you want to join in this crusade to find other motherfuckers out here? Because it's not where they at, it's when they at. So it's time to go back into that time stream, brother. We gonna find these niggas.
ASAP.
Yep. So we find out the last bit of the episode, we find out that Egypt 3000 BC. We got Rogue, Nightcrawler, Beast, Magnus, and Charles. They out there in Egypt. They trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, what they doing. They saving people, and one of the guys is about to get jumped. And then they trying to figure out who this nigga is. Charles goes into that motherfucker's mind, and he reveals himself to be the first mutant. And his name is En Sabah Nur.
Oh shit!
And if niggas know that name, niggas know that name. En Sabah Nur, aka the first mutant, Apocalypse. So shit about to go down there. And then in the meantime, we got the future I think it was 3600 AD. So Scott and Jean got sent over there, and that's where they meet Mother Ascani and the Ascani clan, and they get surprised with Nathan. So Nathan's here. So they get a second chance to raise Nathan. Nathan's a little bit older now, but he's just about size that they can take their child and go raise him. So they realize they're in the future, and they drop that to be continued right after En Sabah Nur reveals himself.
And it was interesting that they chucked Charles in the past and chucked Gene.
Charles and Magneto.
Yeah, Magneto in the past, and
I think it's gonna be interesting how they
chuck
deal
Gene
with
and
that.
him in the future.
I think it's gonna be interesting how they deal with that. But before we get the end credits, but then we get the mid credits scene that sets up season 2 real good. Modern day on Genosha. In the lines of that, he said, "I feel so much pain and destruction around here." And then you see in his hand, you see the card, one of Gambit's final cards out there. He said, "I see so much death." And that's their plague right into season 2. And those who know, Gambit coming back. It's time to ride. My 4 horsemen.
My bad, guys.
Every time it died.
My 4 horsemen of apocalypse. Let's go.
I was so hyped for that shit.
Let's go. Remy coming back, but boy, be careful what y'all wish, because it's about to rain death. Oh, it's gonna be hard. Season 2 incoming, and I am ready.
Crazy.
Yep. Apocalypse, boy. Look what they just did with Bastion, and niggas didn't even know. Niggas didn't even know Bastion. We know Apocalypse. We know how bad that shit get.
So is Scott gonna still be Kumbaya?
No, let's start hitting niggas.
We gonna see.
I thought we
gonna see.
What happened, Scott? I thought we had to be better. What happened?
It's buddy? No, it's about.
Oh no! It's no. What happened? What changed his mind?
The future.
See, I'm telling you. I'm telling you the future. Nathan would have like, nah,
his,
yo, come up, son.
His son told him all about this shit, but hey, he still chose what he chose. Very how slave are you, man?
Right.
Come on, Scott.
Will we see Scott turning his badge in season 2?
I hope so. Scott disappointed me, but he's got a chance to come back. He had too many highlights. He broke my heart.
We are rooting for you, Scott.
We are.
Do the right thing.
How can I root against a nigga who threw up that X in the optic blast? You do that one scene, and then the next scene you broke my heart? Talking about some kumbaya?
You pulled a rogue, Scott. You pulled a rogue.
He killed one of your brothers. You don't miss Gambit? You don't miss Gambit, my nigga?
Yeah, y'all niggas is haters.
We telling truths. Sorry, Scott, gotta hear the truth. hey, we reviewed all of these episodes. We was giving Scott his praise. Scott was number one. Scott was 100% the leader. We was laughing going into this shit, but no, we was going in.
Trying to
Scott
be smart about things.
We was giving Scott his flowers, and then he fumbled at the finish line.
I love nothing funnier. I love the way they wrote this. Nothing funnier than Cyclops giving a kumbaya speech about understanding humans. Meanwhile, the humans sent missiles for his ass. Take that, kumbaya, nigga.
Nah, come on. Y'all
listen.
look.
Wolverine would have had something to say if he wasn't incapacitated. He was told Scott to shut up. And Optic blast him.
Oh, that would have been a great moment, like how Magneto told Charles to finally shut up. How everyone was feeling in that moment. Come on, son.
Cyclops did nothing wrong.
Oh, he should have learned better. He should have learned by now. Between episode 1 and now, he should learn. He should know better.
All right, guys. So, how do y'all feel about the final episode, the season finale, and then just in general, the series?
The series is a 10 out of 10, bro.
10 out of 10, no notes, baby.
On every level, writing, visuals, like it was perfectly done.
Everything, yeah. Do you know how hard it was when people heard that they was bringing back the X-Men series for a new, in our generation when we get reboots and continuations and they drop the ball constantly, and this is something so beloved because niggas thought that this shit was amazing back then.
Yes.
Talked about hard shit back then. How the fuck did we and our Lord of Lords in 2024 get a series that not only rivals the old series, drop bars even harder that shit couldn't even imagine? Imagine, this is the dream of shit that when you reboot shit and continue shit, this is what you want. This is the blueprint.
So I think what it was the fact that they kept it close to the original.
Yeah.
They they literally just continued it from where they left off.
Yeah. They said literally a lot of this shit is if you know, you know. Because this is basically what, this season 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was interesting to me is also like they kept it close to the comics, but still made it into its own show.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of watched it. Because I know I would say stuff a lot of people's like, well, it was in the comic books. I was like, yeah, I get that. But I'm trying to watch it as just its entity.
Yeah, and I love how they explain, like it's a season 6, so there's a lot of stuff that you missed on in the past and stuff like that. But they wrote in a way that if you're new and you just start off on this, you understand what's going on and you can keep on. Like they didn't assume everybody just knew Bastion. They were like, they're gonna show you a scene with Cable where he explains the backstory and why this nigga's doing this stuff.
Yeah. So
my client's watching it. He doesn't even like comic books.
There you go. It's good.
There you go.
When you're good, you're good. That's it. That's how the MCU got hot.
Yeah. Them tackling this on its own was a mountain to climb.
That's what I'm saying. And they hit it out the fucking park.
And the fact that every episode gave you something.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
It was amazing. Shit was amazing. Shit was amazing. All right, so I'm gonna close the book on this, and I'm gonna give our guest time real quick to plug socials and any events you got coming on. Let the people know.
Sir Wilkins, SIR_WILKINS from the Jobber Tears podcast. I am 1/3 of that. Thank you guys for having me on. Another great time.
Yep.
Also, come to the AEW viewing party this Sunday, and don't forget August 24th. Of 2024, we are having Jobber Slam 4 with our special guest Shelton Benjamin wrestling on the card.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Big ups. You know, we definitely try to make it true to Jobber Slam this time. We only missed it by DreamCon, but we definitely gonna be out there.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, man. You can peace out. We'll just drop our socials off this.
All right.
Get some rest.
See you guys.
Peace, man. All right, so we got an email set up at blerdbynature@gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at blerdbynature, Twitter /X at blerdbynature, nature spelled Nature. Co-host, hit us with the YouTube.
You can find us on YouTube by searching for Blerd by Nature Podcast.
Yep. Check us out on all podcast platforms, all available. Our latest episode we uploaded last week as part of this recording and stuff like that is the Boondocks. We will have another episode up pretty soon and stuff like that. Our next thing we should be recording and tackling should be the Duck Dodgers. We can finally get around to that. Any final notes before I hit the outro?
All right, Cyclops, you gotta do better.
Yeah, man. Now that the other cop done left, we can talk our shit. Listen here, Scott. Get your shit together in the next fucking season, Brian. You dropped the ball. You literally 10-10, no notes. I had it on Cyclops the day he dropped the ball. He had 9 out of 10 now, bro.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a fan, Cyclops now. I'm a fan now.
I'm a fan.
Come on.
Everything Cyclops did makes me want to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 so bad. I want to play. They need to drop another Marvel vs. Capcom game like ASAP, like with the X-Men people in it this time, because they dropped the ball in the last game. I need to be fighting with some X-Men again. That show made me crazy.
Man, I'm about to go get a copy and play because
I'm about to who got that shit on download? Give me an emulator. I want to play that shit right now.
Right.
All right, but anyway. Thanks for joining us today from Black Thought to Nerd Power. This is Nicholas, Mr. Go with the Flow.
And this is the man with the plan, Maurice.
And this was another edition of the Blerd by Nature podcast.
Thank you for viewing, everyone. And until next time, peace.
Optic blast. Go up them X's.